Chapter 1662. This. Yang Ming broke into a sweat. Well, I admit that I exaggerated the facts before. I am fine. You brat, if I don't teach you a lesson, you will start to fool me. Xia Bingbao laughed after listening. You give the phone to Li Ji. I will talk to him. Okay, wait a minute. Yang Ming gave the phone to Li Ji and said, Brotherly, you answer the phone. It's from Brother Xia. Captain Xia. Li Ji quickly took the phone and said respectfully, I am Li Ji. Li Ji, have the things over there been dealt with? Asked Xia Bingbao. Everything has been dealt with properly. Li Ji said, Mr. Yang is safe and sound. Okay, you can go back. Xia Bingbao said, Yang Ming's skill is much better than yours. He doesn't need your protection. Okay, Captain Xia. Li Ji was not angry and responded directly. Li Ji naturally knew that Yang Ming was a very important person in the organization. Otherwise, Xia Bingbao would not be so nervous. Yang Ming's skill could be seen from the people lying on the ground before. Li Ji did not doubt this at all. Okay, you can return the phone to Yang Ming, said Xia Bingbao. Yes, Captain Xia. After Li Ji finished, he handed the phone to Yang Ming again. Mr. Yang, Captain Xia is looking for you. Yang Ming nodded and took the phone. Brother Xia, is there anything else? You brat, you better behave yourself. Don't make any mistakes. Xia Bingbao said with some warning. Don't worry, Brother Xia. I am fine. Yang Ming smiled. This has nothing to do with me being well-behaved. It is others who take the initiative to provoke me. And, if someone attacks you, just kill them. Don't leave any trouble behind. Xia Bingbao said, but don't use this privilege. I am just afraid that after you leave, if your enemies don't eliminate the root of the problem, it will be detrimental to your family. I understand. I know my limits. Yang Ming was naturally not a murderous demon. Up until now, Yang Ming had killed people who deserved to die. They all had a reason to die. As for the innocent, Yang Ming would not do anything to them. It's good that you know. I won't say anything else. Take care, said Xia Bingbao. He was quite familiar with Yang Ming's temperament, so he wasn't worried that Yang Ming would mess around. Take care, Yang Ming said and hung up the phone. Mr. Yang, then I will leave first. This is my business card. If there is anything, please contact me at any time. This Jiduan city is my territory. Li Ji waited for Yang Ming to put away the phone, then he handed a business card to Yang Ming and said. All right. Yang Ming nodded and thought about it. He also took out a business card and handed it to Li Ji. This is my contact information. There is no job title printed on it, only a contact number. Yang Ming's business card was more casual. It only had a name and phone number, which was similar to a white card. It doesn't matter, hee hee. Li Ji took the business card with a smile and carefully put it away. Then I will leave. Contact me by phone, said Yang Ming. Li Ji didn't say much. He turned around, got into the car, and drove away. Jing Xiaolu looked at Yang Ming with a handsome look. Yang Ming, am I dreaming today? Of course not. Yang Ming shook his head. What does that Li Ji do? Also, who is that Captain Xia? After Jing Xiaolu waited for Li Ji to leave, she had too many questions to ask Yang Ming. How come the matter was solved when he came? Li Ji belongs to a national secret service agency. Captain Xia is his immediate superior. Of course, he is also my superior. Yang Ming said with a bitter smile. Originally, Yang Ming didn't want to tell Jing Xiaolu about these things, but he didn't expect such a thing to happen today by chance. Yang Ming had no choice but to reveal his identity. In the current situation, if he wanted to hide anything from Jing Xiaolu wouldn't give up. With Jing Xiaolu's intelligence, she wouldn't believe him even if he just told a few lies. At this point, Yang Ming might as well be frank with Jing Xiaolu. He believed that Jing Xiaolu wasn't a person who couldn't tell right from wrong. If he told her to keep it a secret, she wouldn't tell Chen Mengyan and the others. What? He is also your immediate superior? Doesn't that mean that you are also an agent? Jing Xiaolu widened her eyes in surprise and looked at Yang Ming incredulously. Really? I killed Yu Xiangda directly, and I'm still standing here. Do you think it's true? Yang Ming shrugged. Yeah. It turns out that you are an agent. You are actually an agent. There really is such a profession. Jing Xiaolu exclaimed with some excitement. I was wondering why you were so calm. It turns out that you have special privileges. In other words, you can kill whoever you want to kill? Yang Ming looked at Jing Xiaolu and shook his head helplessly. If I had another identity as the king of assassins, theoretically, I could kill whoever I wanted to kill. However, how can the identity of an agent just kill people casually? Xiaolu, we also have discipline. This Yu Xiangda is not a good person. He wanted to kill me first, so I had to kill him. Yang Ming explained. In fact, Yang Ming didn't want to kill Yu Xiangda before. It was only after Yu Xiangda took out his pistol that he had the thought of keeping him alive. People like Yu Xiangda were too vengeful. Even if he let him go this time, he wouldn't dare to have any thoughts in a short time. However, no one could guarantee that this guy would be tempted again after a long time. Then, he would retaliate against Yang Ming or attack the people around him. Then, it would be too late for Yang Ming to regret. Especially when he was about to go to Yunnan, Yang Ming naturally wouldn't leave any future troubles for himself, so he had to eliminate the source of trouble. So that's the case. But this is also very cool. Jing Xiaolu said, Yang Ming, why didn't you tell me before? This is also confidential. Yang Ming had to say, this time, you are also involved. There is no other way. So, I am the only woman who knows your secret? Jing Xiaolu was a little surprised when she heard Yang Ming's words. There is one more, but you don't know her. Yang Ming pointed to Wang Xiaoyan. Her profession is similar to mine. She is also an agent? Jing Xiaolu didn't expect Yang Ming to have such a woman. Not an agent, but the nature of the work is similar, said Yang Ming. Oh, that is to say, among your normal women, I am the only one who knows your secret? Jing Xiaolu continued to say narcissistically. Ugh, you can say that. Yang Ming nodded with a bitter smile. Hee hee, ha, hee hee. After Jing Xiaolu got a positive answer from Yang Ming, she began to giggle. Why weren't you afraid just now? Yang Ming changed the topic. He didn't want to be entangled on this topic. If he could change the topic, Yang Ming wouldn't have to reveal that he went to Yunnan. I was also in the underworld before. I saw a lot of fighting and slashing people. I saw blood almost every time. What is there to be afraid of? I still feel that my blood is boiling, said Jing Xiaolu. Yang Ming suddenly broke into a sweat after hearing it, but he also understood. Wasn't he used to fighting? But Jing Xiaolu was more ruthless than him. Get in the car. Let's go back. This meal is worth it. Yang Ming sighed and asked Jing Xiaolu to get in the car. Right, why don't you ask Li Ji to escort us back? Jing Xiaolu thought of Li Ji and said with some disappointment. Escort? Why do you want him to escort us? Yang Ming looked at Jing Xiaolu strangely. How cool is it to let his car open the road in front? Once the flash is turned on, the alarm is sounded. How awe-inspiring, said Jing Xiaolu. Yang Ming didn't expect Jing Xiaolu to ask Li Ji to send them back because of this. He suddenly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What's so awe-inspiring about this? Chapter 1663. However, after Yang Ming pondered for a moment, he was relieved. Jing Xiaolu was such a person. She worshipped money and power, and she was a little vain. Although it was not a good habit, if she really changed one day, Yang Ming would really not be used to it. Jing Xiaolu was Jing Xiaolu. She would say what she liked without any hypocritical concealment. Yang Ming liked her very much. Anyway, I think it's very impressive. This time, when we go back to the resort, the classmates will be so envious after seeing it, said Jing Xiaolu. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and helplessly. I feel nothing. Of course, you feel nothing. You are originally in the privileged class. Jing Xiaolu said, yes, since Li Ji's car can be loaded, can your car be loaded too? Or, can you load my car? Yang Ming was speechless for a while. Li Ji really has something to do, and you are just pretending. Okay. I won't pretend anymore. When Jing Xiaolu heard Yang Ming say this, she did not force it. If you want to pretend, then it's up to you. It seems that the escort company's car can also be loaded. Later, I will ask Bao Sanli to get you a permit. Don't get caught. Yang Ming saw that Jing Xiaolu was a little disappointed, so he said this. Really? That's great. Jing Xiaolu said with some excitement after hearing it. Yang Ming thought, am I helping the tyrant? Jing Xiaolu seemed to see through Yang Ming's thoughts. She said, don't worry. I won't use it indiscriminately. At most, I will find a place where there is no one to enjoy myself. Then, aren't you sick? Yang Ming was speechless after listening. I like it. What about it? Said Jing Xiaolu. Jing Xiaolu started the car and drove in the direction of the immortal resort. Because of the previous conflict, the two were not in the mood to eat. Although Jing Xiaolu seemed to be a little excited on the surface, it could be seen that she was still a little scared from her trembling hands holding the steering wheel. At least, she still had some lingering fear. Many times, it was like this. She did not feel anything at the time, but the more she thought about it, the more scared she became. When Yang Ming killed Ji Shuixing for the first time, it was also like this. At that time, she was fine, but she felt uncomfortable when she returned home. Are you okay? Asked Yang Ming. Are you scared? Me? How can I be scared so easily? Jing Xiaolu was scared. After all, a person died. Moreover, if Yang Ming did not snatch the gun back then, if Yu Xiangda shot Yang Ming and took her to see Zhang Kaiyuan, Jing Xiaolu was very clear about the result. He. Yang Ming saw that Jing Xiaolu refused to admit it, so he did not say anything more. He just smiled. Right, Yang Ming, I heard you mention a mission before. You are going to Yunnan? You are going to perform a mission? Jing Xiaolu suddenly remembered what Yang Ming mentioned when he called Captain Xia. Yang Ming hesitated and nodded. I thought you didn't remember. I didn't expect you to remember. How can I not remember? I am not amnesiac. Jing Xiaolu frowned. Yang Ming, what mission are you going to perform? It's nothing. Yang Ming shook his head. You know, some things have to be kept secret. Oh. Jing Xiaolu listened to Yang Ming's explanation and snorted reluctantly. If you can't say it, then forget it. Yang Ming was silent. Things had reached this point. Although Yang Ming did not want to hide it from Jing Xiaolu, he would hide it for a while. Since Jing Xiaolu had not found anything wrong, he did not need to say anything more. It would be best if Jing Xiaolu did not know. Yang Ming did not speak. The atmosphere in the car immediately became cold. Jing Xiaolu drove attentively. In her heart, she was wondering what mission Yang Ming had. No. Jing Xiaolu suddenly exclaimed, Yang Ming, do you want to hide something from me? Hide it from you? What do you mean? Yang Ming was stunned by Jing Xiaolu's sudden exclamation. Yang Ming, tell me. Is your mission very dangerous this time? Jing Xiaolu braked and stopped the car. She turned her head and looked directly at Yang Ming. She asked. Dangerous? Why do you say that? Yang Ming had to admire Jing Xiaolu's keen intuition. He did not say a word, but she could guess the danger of this mission. It's because I remembered something you said before. You said, I promised you, so I will naturally go. Jing Xiaolu said, Yang Ming, you don't have to hide it. You know the meaning of this sentence better than me. If there is no danger, why would you say that so seriously? This. Yang Ming thought, it can't be, right? You can analyze so much in such a sentence. This is too. However, Yang Ming had to admit that Jing Xiaolu's analysis was very reasonable. If others said the same thing, he could not guarantee that he would have similar thoughts. Am I right? Jing Xiaolu did not give Yang Ming a chance to think and asked. Well, in this case, I will not hide it from you. Yang Ming sighed and decided not to hide it, but to tell the truth. Yang Ming knew Jing Xiaolu's temperament. If he did not explain it clearly today, Jing Xiaolu would definitely not give up. She would definitely investigate openly and secretly. If everyone knew about it at that time, it would be even more of a loss. So, it was better to talk to her and let her keep it a secret. You really have something to hide from me. Jing Xiaolu was only suspicious before, but she was not sure. However, Yang Ming admitted it at the moment, so Jing Xiaolu no longer doubted it. Let's drive first. Let's go back to the room and talk, okay? Yang Ming looked at the place where Jing Xiaolu's car was parked. It was not a good place to talk. Although it was a relatively remote place at night with no passing cars, it was not a place to talk, so he said. Then, you can't lie to me. Jing Xiaolu glanced at Yang Ming and said, you don't want to think about how to lie to me on the road, right? Why would I? Yang Ming touched his chin. Since I have decided to tell you the truth, then I will not lie to you. Well, this is what you said. Pinky promise. As Jing Xiaolu said this, she stretched out the little finger of her right hand and pointed it at Yang Ming. This, okay. Yang Ming also reached out and pulled Jing Xiaolu's pinky. Pinky promise can't be changed for 100 years. Whoever changes is a bastard. Jing Xiaolu said. Yang Ming listened to Jing Xiaolu's words and didn't know what to say. Is this what a child does? Who can be restrained by this? However, Yang Ming still pretended to pull her pinky. You also say it once. Jing Xiaolu saw that Yang Ming didn't say it, so she reminded him unhappily. Do I still need to say it? Yang Ming was a little stunned. Of course, you have to say it too. Pinky promise is a matter of two people. Both of you must say it for it to be effective, said Jing Xiaolu. Okay, I will say it. Yang Ming said helplessly, pinky promise can't be changed for 100 years. Whoever changes is a bastard, okay? Okay. Jing Xiaolu seemed to have gotten a guarantee. She happily started the car again and went in the direction of the resort. This time, the car was parked downstairs in the villa building. Yang Ming and Jing Xiaolu got out of the car and went upstairs. When they passed by Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao's room, Jing Xiaolu wanted to knock on the door to inform them that she and Yang Ming had come back, so they didn't have to go out. As a result, she heard a sound coming from the room. Jing Xiaolu suddenly blushed. What's wrong? Yang Ming didn't approach, nor did he think much about it. When he saw Jing Xiaolu knock on the door but suddenly return, he asked with some doubts. No, nothing. Jing Xiaolu blushed and shook her head. Oh. Yang Ming glanced in the direction of Bai Hai's room with doubts, and then he understood. Through the door panel of Bai Hai's room, Yang Ming naturally saw what was going on in the room. I didn't expect Gu Xinyiao to be really crazy. Yang Ming glanced and quickly withdrew his gaze. This matter was really not good to look at. Chapter 1664. Let's go. We don't care about the two of them. They are really troublesome. How long has it been? Yang Ming said to Jing Xiaolu somewhat speechlessly. When Jing Xiaolu heard Yang Ming say this, she naturally knew that Yang Ming had discovered the secret in the room. Although she wondered how Yang Ming found out, she didn't ask much. The two people returned to their room. This time, Jing Xiaolu was much more casual. She took off her coat and hung it up. She lay on the bed lazily. It's more comfortable to go back to the room. Yang Ming went to wash his hands and then poured himself a cup of hot water. Yang Ming, can you say it now? What mission are you going to perform? Jing Xiaolu sat up straight and asked impatiently, you said that you will tell me when you come back. I thought you forgot again. Yang Ming looked at Jing Xiaolu's serious look now. It was difficult to connect it with the relaxed look when he first entered the room. I just stretched before, Jing Xiaolu said. Yang Ming, tell me quickly. Do you have something to hide from me? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Indeed, I am going to perform a mission, and there is a certain danger. Is there only a certain danger? Jing Xiaolu frowned doubtfully. If that's the case, why did you say it so solemnly? You even said that I promised you. I will naturally go. I said this because this mission is special. I must go. No one else can. Yang Ming said, so, if I don't go, this mission will be difficult to complete, so, there is only a certain danger, but it is not very serious, asked Jing Xiaolu. This is the case. But although there is only a certain danger, I don't want you to have a psychological burden after knowing it, so I haven't said it. Yang Ming said, you asked me about it today, so I told you. But you should keep it to yourself. I don't want you to tell Chen Mengyan and the others know about it too. It's okay to keep it a secret. Jing Xiaolu nodded. Why do I have a feeling that you are deliberately simplifying things? How could this be? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. I'm not too sure about the details of the mission, so this is all I can say for now, really. Jing Xiaolu frowned and began to carefully think about Yang Ming's words. Yang Ming didn't disturb her. He knew that Jing Xiaolu didn't quite believe it and needed some time to digest it, so he waited for her to think it through before speaking. Something's wrong. Jing Xiaolu suddenly said, Yang Ming, your mission this time is definitely not that simple, right? Don't lie to me. This mission is indeed not simple. I didn't lie to you. Yang Ming knew that Jing Xiaolu still didn't believe his understatement, but he didn't know why Jing Xiaolu was so sure. Yang Ming, why did you transfer the company's shares to me, Bao Sanli, and Ho Zhenhan? Jing Xiaolu finally thought of what she felt was wrong. It's just that Yang Ming has been behaving abnormally recently. Yang Ming inexplicably began to treat her well and transferred most of the company's shares to her name. Such an abnormal move was not something that the previous Yang Ming could do. If there was no reason, why would Yang Ming give her the shares? She wasn't Yang Ming's woman yet. Why did he give her the shares? Jing Xiaolu didn't think so much before. She was just immersed in the happiness of love. Now that she thought about it carefully, the problem was very big. There was only one reason why Yang Ming did this. That was to make arrangements for her. Perhaps Yang Ming already knew that his mission this time was very dangerous. He might not be able to come back, so he made arrangements for her in advance. Although she didn't really become Yang Ming's woman, the two of them knew each other and liked each other. Yang Ming left her a part of the shares. This explanation could be explained, however, thinking of the terrible words of making arrangements for the future, Jing Xiaolu couldn't help but tremble. According to her own guess, if it was true, then wouldn't Yang Ming, tell me. Did you already know that your mission was very dangerous and you might not be able to come back, so you gave us the company's shares in advance? Jing Xiaolu jumped up from the bed and looked at Yang Ming nervously. Her voice became a little sharp because of anxiety. It turns out that this matter has aroused your suspicion. Yang Ming didn't expect that even a wise man would make a mistake. He didn't think too much about the company's shares. As a result, Bao Sanli and Ho Zhenhan found a flaw. Now, it was Jing Xiaolu. It seemed that he was still too arbitrary. It might be better if this matter was carried out slowly. Sure enough. Yang Ming, is your mission really dangerous? Jing Xiaolu's heart sank after hearing Yang Ming's words. She was more convinced of her guess. You can say that. Yang Ming had no possibility of hiding at the moment. It's a 90% chance of survival. Then you still go. Jing Xiaolu was suddenly anxious. Yang Ming, are you stupid? It's such a dangerous thing. Others don't go. Why do you still want to go? Someone has to go. If I go, I have a better chance. Yang Ming said faintly, it's a 90% chance of survival for me. If others go, it's a 90% chance of survival. Heh. After listening to Yang Ming's words, Jing Xiaolu couldn't help but be amused. Look at the situation now. You are still joking. Xiaolu, since we have already talked about it here, then I might as well tell you something. Yang Ming looked at Jing Xiaolu and said, Xiaolu, I know your feelings for me. How should I say it? I should like you very much. But you are different from Meng Yan and the others. Their dependence on me is far beyond imagination, so I won't tell them until the moment I leave. I am the same as them. How am I different? Jing Xiaolu couldn't help but interrupt. You listen to me first. Yang Ming made a gesture to calm her down. After all, nothing has happened between you and me. After I leave, the company will be left to you. I hope that you can start a new life in the future. This is also the reason why I have been avoiding and unwilling to have a further relationship with you. As for Chen Mengyan and the others, I also prepared money for them that they can't spend in a lifetime. They are willing to stay and wait for me. I can't change them. If they don't want to wait one day, they can also start a new life. Yang Ming continued, but with my understanding of them, I am afraid that they will keep waiting. Why, Yang Ming, do you think that I am the kind of person who easily falls in love with someone else? When Jing Xiaolu heard Yang Ming say this, she finally couldn't help but say, Yang Ming, Jing Xiaolu, can tell you clearly that the only man I really like in my life is you. What right do you have to say that about me? Yang Ming didn't expect Jing Xiaolu to be so anxious. He quickly explained, I'm not saying that about you. I just think that we haven't reached that point yet. You should be more open-minded, forget me, and start a new life. That's what you think, not what I think. Jing Xiaolu stubbornly raised her head and looked straight at Yang Ming. Yang Ming, although I, Jing Xiaolu, am not a real man, I will keep my words. Let me be more open-minded. Okay. You, what do you mean? Yang Ming suddenly found that Jing Xiaolu's eyes were a little scary and asked quickly. Jing Xiaolu didn't answer. She directly pounced on Yang Ming and began to tear the clothes on Yang Ming's body. Yang Ming, I want to be like Sister Meng Yan and the others today. Jing Xiaolu didn't know where the courage came from. She was worried about this and that before, but at this moment, she didn't think about anything. She just wanted to be Yang Ming's woman to express her feelings. Xiaolu, calm down first. Yang Ming didn't expect Jing Xiaolu to be so crazy. No. Yang Ming, kiss me. As Jing Xiaolu spoke, she took the initiative to kiss Yang Ming. How is this letting Yang Ming kiss me? It's me taking the initiative. Chapter 1665. It wasn't that Yang Ming didn't have a good impression of Jing Xiaolu, but he was worried about his trip to Yunnan, so he had been keeping a distance from Jing Xiaolu. But now, facing the passionate Jing Xiaolu, Yang Ming also had a feeling that he couldn't help himself. Xiaolu, this. Yang Ming was a little overwhelmed by Jing Xiaolu's sudden behavior. Don't talk. Jing Xiaolu didn't allow Yang Ming to say anything more. She kissed Yang Ming's mouth fiercely. After Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao finished their high-intensity exercise, they took a shower. Bai Hai suddenly remembered that Yang Ming came to find him before. He suddenly exclaimed, Xinyao, Brother Yang just called us. Ah, then why didn't you say so earlier? Gu Xinyao was anxious when she heard it. Right, Didn't we say before that I would go back to the bathroom in my room and then go out? How long has it been delayed? Yeah. It has been more than 2 hours. Brother Yang and Xiaolu must be impatient. I told you when I answered the phone before. You didn't hear it clearly. Bai Hai said with a bitter face, why are you blaming me again? Really? Gu Xinyao was embarrassed when she heard Bai Hai's words. Okay, don't say anything. Hurry up and get ready to find Brother Yang and the others. Otherwise, if Brother Yang blames me, I can't bear it. Bai Hai said and quickly put on his clothes. You still want to talk about it? If you didn't answer such a call, it wouldn't be like this. Gu Xinyao said, we are an old married couple. If Brother Yang and Xiaolu knew, they would be embarrassed. How can they meet later? What's wrong with being an old married couple? Brother Yang will only be happier if he sees that we have a good relationship. Bai Hai said, you should hurry up. Don't dawdle. Hurry up and put on your clothes. Why are you touching up your makeup? Brother Yang and the others can't dislike you. Okay. I'm almost done. Gu Xinyao said. The two people dawdled for more than 10 minutes before they finished dressing up. Bai Hai didn't dare to delay. After he went out with Gu Xinyao, he went straight to Yang Ming and Jing Xiaolu's room. Running to the door of Yang Ming's room, Bai Hai was about to knock on the door, but he was stopped by Gu Xinyao. Wait. What's wrong? What are you doing? Bai Hai turned his head with some doubts and looked at Gu Xinyao inexplicably. What else? Listen. What's the sound inside? Gu Xinyao pointed to Yang Ming's room. Oh. Is there any sound? Bai Hai was stunned. He didn't notice it before. This time, when Gu Xinyao reminded him, Bai Hai listened carefully. Sure enough, he heard a subtle and strange movement in the room. At first, Gu Xinyao was afraid that Yang Ming and Jing Xiaolu were talking about something important, so she didn't let Bai Hai disturb them directly. She planned to see the situation first. However, after listening carefully, she clearly heard what the sound in the room was. Bai Hai wasn't stupid. He immediately realized something. The strange sound in Yang Ming's room had just appeared in his own room, so he was not unfamiliar with it. Brother Yang and Xiaolu wouldn't be doing that, right? Gu Xinyao whispered with a blush. What do you think? Bai Hai was also a little embarrassed. Only we are allowed to do that, but others can't. You still have reason. If I didn't remind you, you would have knocked on the door like a fool. At that time, even if Brother Yang didn't say anything, Xiaolu would hate you. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Bai Hai nodded in agreement. You reminded me twice in a row today. It seems that I have to bring you around often in the future. Otherwise, I might make a mistake at any time. You still know? Gu Xinyao said, I thought that you wanted to break up with me after you became powerful. I know that I'm not beautiful. You used to be a little punk, so it's fine. But now, Xinyao, what are you talking about? How can I break up with you? Although Bai Hai had such thoughts before, now he had given up on it. Even if you agree, won't Brother Yang and Xiaolu kill me when they know? You can spare me. I'm still afraid that you will break up with me. Are you telling the truth? Although Gu Xinyao knew that what Bai Hai said was not necessarily true, she was still very happy to hear it. Of course, it's true. Bai Hai swore to God, if I say half a lie, I will let Brother Yang kill me. What does it have to do with Brother Yang whether you are telling a lie or not? Gu Xinyao glared at Bai Hai. Hee. Bai Hai laughed twice. What are we doing now? Are we waiting at the door? Are you stupid? If you wait like this, when Brother Yang and Xiaolu come out, they will think that you are eavesdropping on them. Aren't you looking for trouble? Gu Xinyao said angrily, you are really slow to react. I think that without me by your side to watch over you, you will offend Brother Yang and Xiaolu sooner or later. Then let's go back to the room. Bai Hai was not annoyed and smiled. Gu Xinyao nodded. I want to do it again, hee, me too. Bai Hai hugged Gu Xinyao and quickly went back to his room. Yang Ming, I didn't lie to you, right? It's my first time. Jing Xiaolu said as she looked around on the bed sheet. I didn't say that you lied to me. Yang Ming was a little speechless. When I said that I wanted you to keep me as a mistress and told you that I was a virgin, you didn't seem to believe it. Jing Xiaolu said. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and shook his head. It wasn't that I didn't believe it. I just didn't want to keep you as a mistress. What about now? Jing Xiaolu asked unyieldingly. Now you can keep me as a mistress. My company has been given to you. I have no money. Yang Ming shrugged. That's fine too. No matter who is keeping who, my purpose has been achieved. Yang Ming, you are not allowed to treat me differently from Sister Meng Yan and the others in the future. You go to Yunnan. I will wait for you to come back. Jing Xiaolu felt very happy now. In the past, she saw that some people posted on the internet were depressed and sad after losing their virginity. However, it did not appear in her at all. Instead, she felt relaxed as if she had completed a major event in her life. Okay. Since it had developed to this point, Yang Ming naturally would not persuade Jing Xiaolu to do something meaningless. However, what Jing Xiaolu did today really touched Yang Ming. Although she was a little silly and stubborn, this was the Jing Xiaolu that he knew. Once she set her mind on something, she would not turn back. You are going to Yunnan to perform a mission. I won't persuade you. This must be your decision after careful consideration. I know it is useless to persuade you. Jing Xiaolu said solemnly, however, let me tell you. You now have a woman who cares about you. Before you do anything, you have to think about us first. We are all waiting for you to come back. Don't worry. I am not a fool. Yang Ming hugged Jing Xiaolu in his arms and smiled tenderly. I promise Brother Xia to carry out the mission, but if my life is really threatened, I will still choose to run for my life. I am not a suicide squad, so I will naturally do what I can. With your words, I am relieved. Jing Xiaolu nodded. You never do things that you are not sure of, right? Yeah. Yang Ming was hesitant in his heart. Am I sure? It seems that I am not sure at all. Yunnan is Elder Yu's territory. After I go, can I still come back? Then I will help you keep a secret in front of Sister Meng Yan and the others. Although Jing Xiaolu was worried about Yang Ming's dangerous character, becoming Yang Ming's woman made Jing Xiaolu more excited. In particular, Yang Ming had many secrets that only she knew. Even Chen Mengyan did not know. I will find a chance to talk to Chen Mengyan about your matter, but it may not be now. Don't mind. Yang Ming didn't want to make any family disputes before he left. Even if he left, he would not feel at ease. It's okay. I understand. Jing Xiaolu didn't care much about this. It is not too late to talk about it when you come back. I will go and build a good relationship with Sister Meng Yan and the others first. It is good that you can understand. Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief. Xiaolu, thank you. Aya, what are you thanking me for? It is so corny. Do you still need to say this between us? Jing Xiaolu frowned. Yang Ming, I am a little hungry. What about you? Chapter 1666. Isn't this nonsense? We haven't eaten anything, and we have been doing physical work here for so long. How can we not be hungry? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Do you want to go out and eat some supper? Jing Xiaolu suggested, this time, we won't be so unlucky to meet someone who is looking for trouble, right? Okay, I'm hungry, too. I will call Bai Hai and see if they are done. Yang Ming smiled and said, it has been so long. I guess they should be done, right? As Yang Ming said this, he picked up the internal phone on the bedside table and dialed the phone number of Bai Hai's room. Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao were having their second battle. Suddenly, they heard the phone ring. Bai Hai was shocked. Why is this phone ringing again? Don't care about him. Gu Xinyao was excited. Why would she care about the phone? It can't be Brother Yang, right? Or should I pick it up? Bai Hai asked with some worry. Impossible. I just went to Brother Yang's room. You didn't hear what Brother Yang and Xiaolu were doing. How could it be them? Gu Xinyao denied. That's true. Then I won't pick it up. Bai Hai nodded and no longer cared about the phone ringing. He continued to fight with Gu Xinyao. No one picked it up. Yang Ming frowned in doubt. Did these two people go out by themselves? Who knows? Jing Xiaolu said, do you want to try calling the phone? Okay. Yang Ming hung up the phone and dialed Bai Hai's mobile phone. However, after the busy tone came from the phone receiver, Yang Ming was shocked to find that there was no signal in this villa. Since his mobile phone had no signal, then Bai Hai's mobile phone must have no signal. Do you have a signal on your mobile phone? Yang Ming asked Jing Xiaolu. No signal. Let me take a look. Jing Xiaolu took the handbag on the bedside table and took out her mobile phone. She glanced at it and said, I don't have it either. There seems to be a screen in this villa. Forget it. I'll call the room again. Yang Ming had no choice but to call Bai Hai's room again. Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao didn't expect that the phone wouldn't stop ringing. It just stopped ringing, and now it started ringing again. It's so annoying. Bai Hai, why don't you pick it up? Gu Xinyao was annoyed by the ringing of the phone. Okay, I'll pick it up. Bai Hai leaned over and picked up the phone. Hello? Bai Hai, where are you? Why didn't you answer the phone before? Yang Ming didn't have much hope, but he didn't expect Bai Hai to pick up the phone. However, before Yang Ming waited for Bai Hai to answer, he heard Gu Xinyao's strange cry, these two, don't tell me they're not done yet? This was too powerful. Brother Yang. I didn't hear it just now. Bai Hai didn't expect that this phone call was really from Yang Ming. He was shocked and quickly explained, I didn't hear it before. When I wanted to pick it up, it hung up by itself. What are you doing? Yang Ming probably guessed what Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao were doing, but he was still a little puzzled and doubtful. Aren't these two people powerful enough? Isn't it a bit against common sense? Bai Hai didn't dare to lie. Although he hesitated, he still said, Xinyao and I are doing that, you two are really powerful. It has been more than 3 hours. Yang Ming sighed. Okay, I admit defeat. Bai Hai smiled bitterly in his heart. What more than 3 hours? We were done before, but when we went to your room door, we heard something that we shouldn't have heard. As a result, we were impulsive again. Who can we blame? However, thinking about it was just thinking about it. Bai Hai didn't dare to say this. If he said it, Yang Ming would know that he heard it. Wouldn't he punish him? Hee. I took a break in the middle. Bai Hai explained. Okay, you two hurry up. Xiaolu and I are going to eat some supper. If you two can finish it within 10 minutes, come over. If you can't finish it, we won't wait for you. Yang Ming hung up the phone after he finished speaking. Wait. Brother Yang. We will definitely come over in 10 minutes. However, before Bai Hai finished speaking, there was a busy tone on the other side of the phone. When Gu Xinyao heard Bai Hai call Brother Yang, she didn't dare to move. She listened carefully to Yang Ming's words. She didn't care about anything else. She quickly got up from Bai Hai's body and quickly put on her clothes. What are you shouting for? Brother Yang still thinks that we haven't finished yet. Bai Hai glared at Gu Xinyao. Today is really embarrassing. You're still talking about me. Didn't you want it too? If you don't want it, I'm the only one who can shout. Gu Xinyao immediately retorted after listening. You didn't let me answer the phone before. That phone call was from Brother Yang. Bai Hai was speechless by Gu Xinyao, so he had to change the topic. Okay, don't blame this and that. Hurry up and find Brother Yang. Gu Xinyao was too lazy to argue with Bai Hai, so she quickly put on her clothes. Bai Hai thought that this was the case, so he quickly put on his clothes. The two people went out of the room one after another and quickly ran to Yang Ming's room. When they came to Yang Ming's room, they just saw Yang Ming and Xiaolu coming out of the room. They suddenly ran over with some embarrassment. Brother Yang, sister-in-law Xiaolu. You two are fast this time. Yang Ming glanced at Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao. Hee hee. Bai Hai gave a hollow laugh and couldn't explain anything. Let's go. Let's go out and eat something, said Yang Ming. The four people went downstairs together, but they saw Jing Xiaolu's BMW parked in front of the villa building. Bai Hai was a little surprised. Brother Yang, have you gone out before? I went out for a while. Yang Ming nodded. When the two of you don't have a head, you can go out and walk around first. Ugh, hee hee. Bai Hai didn't expect Yang Ming to have gone out before, so he was a little embarrassed. Get in the car. Take Xiaolu's car. Yang Ming didn't say much and instructed Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao. It was still Jing Xiaolu who drove out of the Immortal Resort and came to the nearby snack street. Yu Xiangda's white Nissan van had been driven away, and the street was calm again. When Yu Xiangda was shot by Yang Ming, no one saw it because it was in the alley, so it naturally wouldn't cause any impact. Do you still want to eat that mutton soup? Yang Ming saw that Jing Xiaolu didn't stop after passing by the previous old man Wang Shi and style mutton soup shop, so he asked with a smile. I don't want to eat anymore. Let's go to another place this time. Jing Xiaolu shook her head. How about we go to eat barbecue? Okay, I don't mind. Bai Hai, what about you? Yang Ming turned and asked. We both like to eat everything. We don't abstain from certain foods. Bai Hai said quickly. Okay, then let's barbecue. Jing Xiaolu parked the car next to a barbecue food stall not far away. The four people got out of the car and ordered something to eat. Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao were also hungry. They didn't eat much before, so they consumed more physical strength than Yang Ming. So at the moment, they didn't care about their image and began to devour the food. Jing Xiaolu was worried that Yang Ming was on the side, so she didn't look too bad. However, her appetite wasn't very big, so she was full after eating some. They didn't drink. After filling their stomachs, Bai Hai got up to pay the bill. Boss, how much is it? The boss glanced at Bai Hai and looked at the BMW parked at the door. Then, he pressed a few buttons on the calculator and said, a total of 4,800. Oh, Bai Hai was stunned when he heard 4,800. How much? 4,800. The boss repeated. Boss, did you calculate the wrong amount? The things that we want are at most 200 yuan. Bai Hai looked at the shop owner with some astonishment. Yes, it is 4,800. The boss frowned and said impatiently, why? You can afford a BMW, but you don't have money to pay the bill? Chapter 1667. This isn't a problem with the car. It's the bill that is wrong. Bai Hai also frowned. Show me the bill. Here. The boss handed a bill to Bai Hai. He was not afraid that Bai Hai would check it. Bai Hai took the bill and picked it up to look at it. However, with a single glance, he realized that something was wrong. How did the mutton skewers become 20 yuan per skewer? Wasn't it 2 yuan on the menu before? As for the chicken necks, they had increased in price from $3 to $50, and the chicken wings had increased in price from $5 to $80. As for the other miscellaneous items, they had either increased in price by 10 times or more than 10 times. In short, the price of the items had increased by at least 10 times. Boss, how did you calculate this bill? The mutton skewers were obviously 2 yuan per skewer. How did it become 20? And this chicken neck, wasn't it 3 yuan? Why did you write 50 yuan? Bai Hai pointed at the number on the bill. 2 yuan for the mutton skewers? Who told you that it was 2 yuan? If it was 2 yuan, I wouldn't even be able to cover the cost. The shop owner rolled his eyes and said, the mutton skewers in my shop are originally 20 yuan per skewer. Did you see it wrong? Or did you imagine it? Show me the menu again. Bai Hai's face was a little gloomy. He didn't feel anything before. He just thought that the boss had miscalculated the bill. But now, he vaguely guessed something. This boss probably wants to blackmail me, right? The shop owner took out a menu without a care and handed it to Bai Hai. The price is clearly marked. It's fair. Look at it yourself. Bai Hai took the menu and flipped through it. But he found something wrong with the first page. Although the printed version of this menu looked exactly the same as the one he had ordered before, the price tag on it had doubled. It was clearly written that the mutton skewers were 20 renminbi per skewer, the roasted chicken neck was 50 renminbi per skewer, and the other items were also priced at double the price, which matched the price on the shop owner's bill. Did I really see it wrong before? Bai Hai narrowed his eyes. No, even if I saw it wrong, when I ordered, Yang Ming, Jing Xiaolu, and Gu Xiniao should be able to see it, right? If this restaurant was so expensive, it was impossible for everyone to not have any objections. Xiniao, come here. Bai Hai reached out and called Gu Xiniao over. Gu Xiniao saw that Bai Hai went to pay the bill, but he didn't come back after a long time. He looked at the bill and the menu. She suddenly felt embarrassed. It's rare to treat someone. Why is he so stingy? Looking at the bill of the bill? Because of the distance, Gu Xiniao couldn't hear the conversation between Bai Hai and the shop owner. At this time, Bai Hai's bill. What are you looking at? What's there to see? Hurry up and pay the bill. Don't let Brother Yang and Xiaolu laugh at you. Gu Xiniao said with some embarrassment. She thought to herself, is Bai Hai pestering me because of a few dollars difference in the bill? If Brother Yang and Jing Xiaolu knew about it, wouldn't they laugh at me? Xiniao, there's a problem with this bill. Take a look at it first. Bai Hai insisted. What's there to see? Gu Xiniao took the menu and bill. After glancing at it, she frowned like Bai Hai. What? This meal cost more than 4,000 yuan? Are you kidding me? Look at the menu again. I remember that when I ordered the mutton skewers, it was 2 yuan per skewer. How did it become 20 yuan now? Bai Hai pointed to the menu in Gu Xiniao's hand and said, I thought I remembered it wrong, so I let you take a look. It was originally 2 yuan. Gu Xiniao opened the menu and saw that the price of the mutton skewers had become 20 yuan. Although Gu Xiniao wasn't short of money now, she couldn't just spend it casually. If it was 3 or 5 yuan, Gu Xiniao would be too lazy to waste her breath. However, this barbecue cost 4,008 yuan. Wasn't this a joke? What did they eat? Seafood and abalone? Boss, what do you mean? Are you trying to blackmail us? Gu Xiniao was now sure that the shop owner wanted to blackmail them. This was often exposed in the newspaper and on the internet. After the tourist attractions ate, they began to blackmail tourists. A meal that was originally a few hundred yuan would become a few thousand yuan in an instant. Blackmail? Blackmail what? The price is clearly marked on the menu. I don't cheat anyone. You came to eat, and you ordered the dishes. It proves that you agreed with the price on the menu. How can you say that I am blackmailing you? The shop owner's face looked like he had everything under control. In fact, the boss had used this trick to blackmail many foreigners who came here for vacation. It was always satisfying. These people had a common characteristic. That was, foreigners were not willing to cause trouble when they went out. Most of them were rich, and they didn't lack these few thousand yuan. Therefore, although these people were very angry, they were not willing to be entangled in the end. They thought that the boss was a local, and he also had a lot of power in the local area. As a result, the foreigners were naturally not the opponents of the locals. The boss grasped this mentality, so he was satisfied again and again. The boss prepared 2 sets of menus. One was for the locals, and the other was to cheat the foreigners. The boss saw that Bai Hai and the others came in a BMW with a foreign license plate, so he decided to blackmail these people. Although the locals who ate in the restaurant knew that the boss was blackmailing Bai Hai and the others, no one was nosy and came out to speak. Who would care about this kind of thing? It had nothing to do with them. If they stood out, they would offend the restaurant owner for no reason. Moreover, everyone was from the same village. They would see each other frequently, so they were embarrassed to destroy other people's business. You prepared 2 sets of menus. The one you showed us before wasn't this menu. Gu Xinyao said, "You show me the previous menu." What previous menu? The boss glared and said, "Little girl, don't talk nonsense. I am doing business here. It is fair and reasonable. How can there be 2 sets of menus? I think you want to renege on your debt after eating." "I really don't want to renege on your debt, but if I want to renege on my debt, what can you do?" Gu Xinyao was also angry. She was not a kind person. She was also a bully on the school road. Now, Bai Hai was doing well, and he had Yang Ming and Bao Sanli in Songjiang. It could be said that in Songjiang City, who dared to offend Gu Xinyao? This small barbecue shop owner actually wanted to blackmail her. How could Gu Xinyao not be annoyed? How about it? "If you don't pay, don't think about leaving today." The shop owner bared his teeth and shouted to the kitchen, "Zhang Depeo, go and lock their car." "Got it, boss." From the kitchen, a fat man with a fierce face came out. He held a car tire lock in his hand and walked directly to the door of the food stall. He reached out and locked Jing Xiaolu's BMW. Then, he pulled out the key, returned to the food stall, and handed the key to the shop owner. "You." Gu Xinyao didn't expect to meet a more overbearing person this time. In Songjiang City, no one dared to be like this with her. This small village next to Jiduan City was actually so overbearing. She asked someone to lock her car. "Little girl, you tell me this time. Are you going to pay or not?" The shop owner sneered and held the key in his hand. He had a posture that said, "If you don't pay, don't think about driving away." Yang Ming and Jing Xiaolu didn't pay much attention to the matter between Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao. The 2 people just had a relationship, and they were very close. It wasn't until Gu Xinyao and the boss quarreled and the boss asked someone to lock the tires of the car outside that Yang Ming and Jing Xiaolu noticed the problem. Chapter 1668. However, Yang Ming didn't stand up. This kind of problem could be dealt with by Bai Hai first. If it couldn't be dealt with, it wouldn't be too late for him to deal with it. Boss, right? Bai Hai's eyes also became cold. Before doing anything, it's best to consider the consequences. Don't do something that you will regret. Before blackmailing others, you should first weigh the other person's identity and see if they are someone you can provoke. "Oh? You're threatening me?" When the shop owner heard Bai Hai's words, he wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he laughed loudly. He had heard this kind of words too many times. These tourists who were blackmailed by him came from all over the world. Some of them were very powerful in their local area. But here, no matter how powerful they were, it was useless. This was his territory. He had the final say. "It's considered a threat," Bai Hai said faintly. I'm really not afraid of threats. There are many people who threaten me. I have heard this kind of threat more than 100 times. But now?" The shop owner laughed unscrupulously. "Now I'm still standing here. I don't care what your identity is or how powerful you are. Once you're here, don't even think about leaving if you don't pay. Do you believe that I will smash your shop? Bai Hai looked at the shop owner and said faintly. Ha, this is the funniest thing I have ever heard. Smash the shop. Why don't you try? Let's see if you can still leave this village standing. The shop owner smiled coldly and said to the kitchen, DePeo, bring them out. As soon as the shop owner's voice fell, the fat man named Zhang DePeo, who came out to lock the car, came out with 4 or 5 punks. They surrounded Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao in the middle. Why? Do you still want to smash the shop now? The shop owner looked at Bai Hai proudly. The reason why the shop owner was so fearless was because he had these people in his kitchen. Among the tourists who were cheated here, there were quite a few who were difficult to deal with. However, when they saw the burly Zhang DePeo leading a group of young men out of the restaurant, they all gave in and left after paying the money. So this was the reason why the shop owner dared to make a move on Bai Hai, Yang Ming, and the others. Bai Hai had some confidence in dealing with Zhang DePeo alone. After all, Bai Hai was also a punk. Sometimes, fighting didn't rely on pure strength and sturdiness, but skills. So if Bai Hai fought with Zhang DePeo alone, there shouldn't be a problem. However, Zhang DePeo was not alone. There were 4 or 5 hooligans beside him. It was obvious that they were all veterans in fighting. Bai Hai did not have much confidence in winning. For a time, Bai Hai's face became uncertain. If this was Songjiang City, he could call a car full of people and directly destroy this barbecue food stall, but now... Since you want to be smashed so much, then I will fulfill your wish. Bai Hai didn't speak, but another voice sounded. It made the shop owner, Zhang DePeo, the punks, and the diners in the food stall turn their heads at the same time. The person who spoke was Yang Ming. When Yang Ming saw Zhang DePeo come out with a few punks, he knew that Bai Hai wasn't their opponent. It seemed that he had to do it personally. So he stood up and slowly walked in the direction of Bai Hai and the shop owner. He said as he walked, everyone saw it. When the time comes, you can be a witness. It was the shop owner who asked me to smash his shop. Although these diners didn't dare to offend the shop owner, they didn't know where Yang Ming came from. Since Yang Ming dared to say such big words, he must have something to rely on. So, the diners didn't dare to speak. They lowered their heads and decided to side with whoever was more powerful. Before the winner was decided, it was better not to speak. Yang Ming just said it casually. He didn't need these people to be a witness. What reason did he have to smash someone's shop? The reason was just a psychological comfort before doing evil. Kid, I think you are tired of living, right? After the shop owner saw that Bai Hai didn't speak, another troublemaker appeared. After thinking carefully, he came to the conclusion that Yang Ming was the leader of this group. Look at you, kid. You are the one who has the final say, right? In a word, the meal is paid. You can leave now. Yang Ming didn't care about the shop owner at all. He walked directly to Zhang DePeo and looked at him. He said faintly, You are Zhang DePeo, right? You are the one who locked my car, right? Yang Ming didn't wait for Zhang DePeo to speak. He directly reached out and grabbed Zhang DePeo's throat. He lifted him up from the ground. I will give you 1 second to unlock my car. Cough cough. Little bastard, I'll fuck your mother. Zhang DePeo's throat was grabbed by Yang Ming. He had difficulty breathing and immediately coughed violently. Let go of me. I will fucking kill you. What are you guys waiting for? Do it. The moment Yang Ming grabbed Zhang DePeo, the shop owner and Zhang DePeo's underlings were all dumbfounded. He didn't expect that Yang Ming would really dare to make a move. Moreover, it was in front of so many people. Yang Ming looked much thinner than Zhang DePeo. However, he could lift Zhang DePeo with one hand. It seemed that he wasn't an ordinary person. After receiving Zhang DePeo's order, Zhang DePeo's underlings came back to their senses. They fiercely pounced on Yang Ming and raised their fists to start a fight. Yang Ming didn't let go of Zhang Depeo. He didn't even look at the direction where the underlings were coming from. He only extended a leg and casually blocked a few times in the air. The underlings fell to the ground at the same time and cried for their parents. Yang Ming had just killed someone, so he didn't want to be too ruthless. He only gave a small punishment and broke the bones of these people. Yang Ming's move stunned the shop owner. Zhang Depeo, who was scolding people, was also stunned. In the blink of an eye, Yang Ming knocked down the other 5 punks. The shop owner didn't even see what was going on. These people were already lying on the ground. No matter how stupid the shop owner was, he knew that he had encountered a tough opponent today. Zhang Depeo's kung fu was much better than his underlings. What did you say to me just now? You scolded my mother? Yang Ming's hand that was grabbing Zhang Depeo still didn't move. He didn't even look at the underlings who were crying for their parents. Instead, he looked straight at Zhang Depeo and asked. No. I didn't. Zhang Depeo's cold sweat dripped down. Underlings like him bullied the weak and feared the strong. When he saw that Yang Ming defeated 5 of his underlings, Zhang Depeo lost his temper. He was even a little scared. He didn't know how badly the 5 underlings were injured, but from their miserable cries, it was probably not light. He was the leader, and he had just scolded Yang Ming. Wouldn't he be in danger? Pung! Yang Ming pressed Zhang Depeo heavily against the wall. The wall directly hit the back of Zhang Depeo's head, causing Zhang Depeo's head to bleed. Fortunately, Zhang Depeo's head was quite thick, so he didn't die from the hit. I'll ask you again. What did you say to me just now? Asked Yang Ming. I said I fuck my mother. Zhang Depeo was about to cry. Go and open my car. Yang Ming let go of his hand. He was too lazy to argue with him. His good mood was ruined by Zhang Depeo. Zhang Depeo sat on the ground. Although he was scared, he didn't dare to delay when Yang Ming asked him to open the car. He turned to look at the shop owner. The shop owner quickly passed the keys to Zhang Depeo. Zhang Depeo didn't care about the pain at the back of his head. He rolled and crawled to the door and opened Yang Ming's car. Then, he quickly ran back. Brother, I opened it, and, Yang Ming nodded. It was slower than 1 second, but I'm too lazy to argue with you. Thank you brother, thank you brother. Zhang Depeo quickly said gratefully. He was sullen. He was already like this, but he still had to thank the person who hit him. Who asked him to be stronger than him. It had to be said that Yang Ming's previous move had completely shocked Zhang Depeo and the shop owner. They thought that they had met the national mixed martial arts champion. Wasn't this skill too nimble? Chapter 1669. You're welcome. Yang Ming glanced at Zhang Depeo and said faintly, Okay, now that the car lock is unlocked, let's discuss the matter of smashing the restaurant. Yang Ming moved a chair and sat on it. Then, he looked at the restaurant owner and Zhang Depeo. The restaurant owner originally thought that after Yang Ming beat up his underlings, the matter of him unlocking the car lock would be over. He didn't expect Yang Ming to not forget about the matter of smashing the restaurant. Why? Didn't you let me try smashing it before? You don't want to let me try now? Yang Ming looked at the restaurant owner and said sarcastically. No, big brother. You see, we didn't have eyes. We didn't know that a master like you was here, and we wanted to scam you for your money. You're magnanimous. Don't be calculative with us. The restaurant owner said carefully, Big brother, look. Can we waive the bill for this meal? Waive the bill? Why didn't you say that before? Yang Ming didn't give him any face at all. My friend has already warned you before. We can talk about it, but you don't want to. You have to beg for mercy when I take action. Tell me, do you have nothing to do? Ugh. The restaurant owner complained in his heart. If I knew you were so powerful before, would have scammed you. Then, I was really bored. Not only was I bored, but there was also a problem with my brain. I knew that I couldn't win, but I still went to find trouble. Isn't this stupid? However, although the restaurant owner thought so, he couldn't say it. He was afraid that Yang Ming would beat him up if he said it. Therefore, the restaurant owner could only say, "Big brother, do you want to eat something else? I'm already full. What else do I want to eat?" Yang Ming was a little amused. "Now, I'll give you two options. One is that I beat you and Zhang de Peo until you can't move, then I'll personally smash the restaurant." "What else?" the restaurant owner quickly asked. The first option was simply asking for his life. The restaurant owner couldn't choose this option. "Also, you guys can smash the restaurant yourself." Yang Ming said, "To be honest, I'm too lazy to do it." This. The restaurant owner suddenly smiled bitterly. "Why is it still smashing the restaurant? Can you not destroy the shop? What do you think?" Yang Ming asked. "I say, sigh." The boss sighed helplessly, and a trace of resentment flashed in his eyes. "Big brother, are you sure that there is no room for negotiation? I gave you a chance before, but you didn't cherish it. Opportunities are always fleeting. Since you've already missed it, remember this lesson." Yang Ming was not the kind of person who was unreasonable, but the store owner's approach was a bit too much. Bai Hai had already revealed the consequences of continuing to extort the store owner, but the store owner did not listen. Who could he blame? "All right, Zhang de Peo, do it." A hint of viciousness flashed through the boss's eyes again, but it disappeared in a flash. He waved at Zhang de Peo and said, "Go get a hammer." "Ah." Zhang de Peo looked at the boss in shock. "Boss, are we really going to smash it? If we don't smash it, we'll be smashed by others. Stop talking and go get it." The boss ordered Zhang de Peo. "This." "Yes, boss." Zhang de Peo could only walk to the back kitchen. As for the brothers who were wailing on the ground, Zhang de Peo didn't have time to care about them. He couldn't even take care of himself. "This big brother, you're really ruthless today. Since you want to destroy the store, fine, then I'll destroy it for you." The boss looked at Yang Ming and said, "But I'll give you a piece of advice. Be lenient when you can. Don't go too far. No one can be badass all the time." Yang Ming snorted. Naturally, he heard the threat in the boss's words. He wanted Yang Ming to let him go. Naturally, it was self-evident. However, Yang Ming didn't intend to let him go so easily. "I think I should give you this advice. Be lenient when you can. I don't know who was the one who went too far. All right, if that's the case, then I won't say anything more." The store owner nodded and shouted at Zhang de Peo, "Zhang de Peo, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and get the hammer." "I'm coming, boss." Zhang de Peo had been listening to the movements in the back kitchen. When he saw that the boss's words were useless, Zhang de Peo understood that he had to make a move today. Dear friends who came to support the store, but the situation in the store today is special. Please leave early. I hope you can forgive us for not being a good host. Everyone, you don't have to pay the bill. I'll pay the bill today. The store owner said to the customers in the store. Many of these customers had already finished eating. They just stayed to watch the show. When they heard that the boss was waiving the bill, they were very happy. They all cheered. Although they couldn't continue to watch the show, it was already good enough. Moreover, if the store was really destroyed, it would inevitably affect them. So, everyone stood up and left. The thoughts in their hearts were different. Some people felt that the boss was too unlucky. Some people sympathized with him. Some people felt that if the boss cheated so much, something would happen sooner or later. Today was a lesson for him. When the last group of customers walked out of the barbecue store, the store owner waved to Zhang de Peo and said, "Start smashing." "Yes, boss." Zhang Depeo raised the hammer and began to smash the store. However, he only smashed some unimportant things, such as broken beer bottles and bowls. If you want to smash, do it properly. The store owner also went all out. He picked up another sledgehammer that Zhang Depeo took out from the kitchen and swung it directly at the TV at the side. With a loud bang, the LCD panel of the TV broke. The entire TV also fell to the ground with a clang. It was obvious that the store owner was really going all out. Zhang Depeo was shocked when he saw this. This was a big LCD panel that cost more than 7,000 yuan. It was broken just like that? In the LCD TV, the LCD panel was the most expensive part. If the LCD panel was broken, the TV had no value in repairing it. Therefore, the store owner did this because he wanted to throw away everything. He didn't think about whether it could be repaired after the event. Zhang Depeo also picked up the hammer and smashed together with the store owner. At first, he felt a little psychological burden when he smashed. He felt that he was wasting money. However, after smashing a few times, the desire to destroy in his heart was aroused. He felt that smashing things was so refreshing. As long as he waved his hand, a piece of glass or a bill detector would be broken. This feeling was simply wonderful. In fact, everyone more or less had a desire to vent in their hearts. Once this desire was ignited, it was uncontrollable. The store owner and Zhang Depeo initially smashed the store to deal with Yang Ming. However, in the end, it was entirely because they felt refreshed. They smashed until they were excited and couldn't stop. Okay, it's almost done. Yang Ming looked at the broken pieces of glass in the store and felt that it was almost done. He instructed the store owner, then turned and walked to the door of the store. As soon as Yang Ming left, Jing Xiaolu, Bai Hai, and Gu Xinyao naturally wouldn't stay here. They followed Yang Ming out of the door. "Boss, Big Brother asked us to stop. We can stop smashing." After Zhang Depeo heard Yang Ming's words, he stopped. Although he felt that he was enjoying smashing, the store was full of money, so he forced himself to stop. "Oh." The store owner responded, but the hammer in his hand didn't stop. It was still flying everywhere. Whatever it saw, it would be smashed. There was another burst of explosion. "Boss, we don't need to smash anymore," said Zhang Depeo. "Don't need to smash anymore?" The store owner shook his head. "Since you are smashing, then continue. I am enjoying it." "Ah." Zhang Depeo was stunned and looked at the store owner. "What about me?" "You continue too," said the store owner. "If you don't smash, I will smash it myself." "Oh. That's good." Zhang Depeo was overjoyed after hearing it. Originally, he didn't enjoy smashing things to his heart's content, so he stopped abruptly. This time, with the store owner's approval, Zhang Depeo could finally continue to enjoy it. Thinking of this, Zhang Depeo picked up the big hammer in his hand again. Chapter 1670. Yang Ming, Jing Xiaolu, and the others walked out of the barbecue shop. Jing Xiaolu looked back and unexpectedly saw that the shop owner and Zhang Depeo were still smashing the shop. She couldn't help but be surprised. "Yang Ming, why are they still smashing the shop? Did you tell them that they don't have to smash it?" Yang Ming's eyes were sharp. He had already seen the conversation between the shop owner and Zhang Depeo. He shrugged and smiled. They are addicted to smashing and can't stop. They are really rich. Jing Xiaolu couldn't help but be shocked. It seems that they have cheated a lot of people in the past few years. They are so rich that they don't feel bad about smashing things. Maybe. Yang Ming didn't explain and got in the car with Jing Xiaolu, Bai Hai, and Gu Xinyao. "Brother Yang, you are still the best." Bai Hai admired sincerely. "The person I, Bai Hai, admire the most in my life is you." With just a few punches and kicks, those guys were lying on the ground and couldn't move. I was actually a little scared before. I plan to eat a loss and keep the peace. After all, this isn't Songjiang, so I didn't want to argue about this. But I didn't expect Brother Yang to be like a god descending from the sky. Nonsense, Brother Yang is, of course, better than you. Gu Xinyao said, if Brother Yang makes a move, is there anything that can't be solved? Xinyao, it seems that you like Brother Yang more than you like me. Bai Hai smiled. That's right. What do you think? If Brother Yang wanted me, I would have kicked you away. However, I don't have Xiaolu's blessing. Gu Xinyao didn't hide her thoughts and said directly. However, Bai Hai wasn't jealous. You are talking nonsense. If I were as powerful as Brother Yang, would I still look for you? What's wrong, Bai Hai? Do you feel that you are losing out by looking for me? Gu Xinyao glared at Bai Hai. How can I? I just said it casually. Bai Hai quickly laughed it off. Okay, you too. How is this a compliment? Why do I feel like it's not a good thing? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Bai Hai laughed dryly, and Gu Xinyao also stuck out her tongue. Jing Xiaolu was not as surprised and excited as Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao about Yang Ming's previous performance. After all, Yang Ming directly knocked out 4 of Yu Xiangda's underlings and took the gun from Yu Xiangda's hands. It was even more frightening. Back at the resort, Yang Ming, Jing Xiaolu, Bai Hai, and Gu Xinyao all returned to their respective rooms. Just as he walked to the door of the room, Yang Ming saw Wang Lin in a hurry. Seeing that Yang Ming came back, Wang Lin was a little embarrassed. Brother Yang, I'm sorry. When I went back to the room, I was a little sleepy, so I closed my eyes for a while. When I opened my eyes, I was already here. Little Ran didn't wake me up. She went to play with her classmates, so I forgot the time. You didn't look for me, right? It's okay. Xiaolu just drove out. Yang Ming said, if you feel uncomfortable, you can sleep first. It's okay. Then I'll go back first. Wang Lin was a little sleepy after eating all the delicacies on the table. He didn't know which food didn't match, which led to drowsiness. It's really okay. You don't have to think too much. Yang Ming said with a smile. After sending Wang Lin away, Yang Ming and Jing Xiaolu returned to the room. There was no barrier between the two anymore. Jing Xiaolu took off her clothes casually and said to Yang Ming, I'm going to take a shower. Do you want to take a shower together? Although Jing Xiaolu wanted to show that she was very close to Yang Ming, she couldn't help but blush after saying this sentence. Ugh. You take a shower first. I'll take a shower later. Yang Ming was also a little embarrassed. After all, the two of them hadn't reached the level of being honest with each other. They just confirmed their relationship today, so Yang Ming was a little unnatural. Okay. Jing Xiaolu was relieved, but she was also a little disappointed. She was actually quite nervous. On the one hand, she wanted Yang Ming to refuse. Otherwise, she would feel awkward when she took a shower. However, she also wanted to be with Yang Ming. This kind of mentality was very contradictory. Jing Xiaolu went to the bathroom to take a shower. Yang Ming looked at the blood-stained sheets and called the front desk to ask them to prepare another sheet and send it over. It didn't take long for a waiter to knock on the door. Yang Ming confirmed that the bathroom door where Jing Xiaolu was closed before he opened the door for the waiter. Hello, sir. This is the sheet you want. The waiter handed the flyer to Yang Ming. Ugh. How much is it? Asked Yang Ming. Don't you want to change it? Just give us the dirty sheets, said the waiter. Ugh. Yang Ming sweated and said, the previous sheet has been thrown away. I will pay you how much this is. Is that so, sir? The waiter was also somewhat inexplicable. He thought, why did you throw it away when it was dirty? You are really a rich person. You don't understand the life of a rich person. However, he naturally wouldn't say it out loud. He just said politely, I really don't know about this. How about this? I will ask and tell you. Okay. Yang Ming nodded and signaled that the waiter could leave. Then, he took the sheet back to the room. Yang Ming changed the sheet. As for the piece that was replaced, Yang Ming folded it and put it aside. He didn't know if Jing Xiaolu had a hobby of collecting things. Yang Ming didn't dare to dispose of it casually. Yang Ming turned on the TV and watched for a while. Jing Xiaolu finished her shower and walked out in a bathrobe. She looked quite extraordinary. If he didn't know Jing Xiaolu's character, he would really think that she was a fairy who couldn't be more virtuous. Thinking of Jing Xiaolu's temper, this image changed in Yang Ming's eyes, but it added a bit of temptation. Isn't it popular to be wild and pure now? Seeing that Yang Ming was staring at her, Jing Xiaolu was secretly happy. She deliberately turned around in front of Yang Ming. Do I look good? N. Yang Ming nodded. Then why didn't you say it before? Since I met you, I have no confidence. Jing Xiaolu complained, I only got back a little now. You used to draw like a ghost. Probably only a ghost would think that you look good. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. You are a ghost. Jing Xiaolu said, yes, if you think I look good, then you are a ghost. Hee hee. Yang Ming didn't argue. He smiled and wanted to hug Jing Xiaolu. Go take a shower first. You smell like barbecue oil and smoke. Jing Xiaolu pushed Yang Ming away embarrassedly. She said this just as an excuse. She was a little embarrassed. Then I am going to take a shower. Yang Ming nodded and got up and walked to the bathroom. Yang Ming smelled his own body. Indeed, there was a smoky smell from the barbecue. Yang Ming turned on the hot water and prepared to take a shower. Looking at the water pipe above the shower, Yang Ming couldn't help but remember the first time he came here with Zhou Jiejia. The water pipe burst. Thinking about it, it was an opportunity for their relationship to improve. It was quite ambiguous. Just as he was about to apply the shower gel on his body, there was a scream from Jing Xiaolu outside. Yang Ming was shocked. Jing Xiaolu is in the room. What can happen? Before Yang Ming could ask, the bathroom door was opened. Jing Xiaolu rushed in and exclaimed, Yang Ming, where are the sheets? Why are the sheets gone? It turned out that after Jing Xiaolu took a shower, she was going to sit on the bed and watch TV. She suddenly remembered that there were bloodstains on the sheets. As a result, she looked down and found that the sheets had become brand new. When she just came back, Jing Xiaolu didn't care about it. When she remembered it at this time, she found that the sheets had changed. Jing Xiaolu was shocked. This sheet is very precious. She planned to keep it as a souvenir. How can it disappear for no reason? Could it be a waiter in the villa? However, he couldn't just change the sheets without informing. Jing Xiaolu was anxious. She didn't have time to think about it. She wanted to ask Yang Ming if he knew about the sheets, so she pushed the door and went into the bathroom directly. She didn't expect that Yang Ming had taken off his clothes. She thought that Yang Ming had just entered the bathroom. Yang Ming was shocked by Jing Xiaolu's act of breaking the door. He subconsciously wanted to cover the important parts of his body with his hands. However, he thought that since he had a physical relationship with Jing Xiaolu, Yang Ming put down his hands again. However, he still said awkwardly, I changed the sheets before. Chapter 1671. In fact, Jing Xiaolu was also very embarrassed. She subconsciously wanted to turn around and go out, but she probably thought of the same idea as Yang Ming, so she stopped and looked at Yang Ming. Then, what about the original one? I put the original one under your handbag, said Yang Ming. Oh, you scared me. I thought the waiter took it away. Jing Xiaolu suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Then you take a shower. I won't disturb you. Jing Xiaolu quickly went out of the bathroom and patted her nervous chest. She secretly said, "Why am I so perverted?" After going in, I kept staring at Yang Ming. His figure is quite good. Yeah, what am I thinking? However, Jing Xiaolu thought about it again. What's wrong with me looking at it? I like him, and I'm his girlfriend now. What can't I look at? Thinking of this, Jing Xiaolu was a little self-confident. It's natural for me to look at it. Humph. Jing Xiaolu returned to her room. Sure enough, she found the previous sheet under her handbag. Jing Xiaolu quickly put it into her handbag. After the waiter went out of Yang Ming's room, he returned to the reception desk and asked his colleague, Little you, the guest in room 307 just threw away the original sheet. I gave them a new sheet. How much do you think a sheet costs? He said he would pay. This. I don't know. I haven't encountered this before. Little you shook his head. Can you find the previous sheet? If you find it, just book the bill normally. You don't have to pay. The key is that he threw away the previous sheet. The waiter shook his head. Then I don't know. I suggest you ask the general manager. I don't dare to make a decision on this matter, said Little you. Well, that's the only way. The waiter stood up and prepared to find the general manager. Sui Yuemin was very depressed recently. His elder brother, Sui Yuejin, was inexplicably killed. His nephew, Sui Guangqi, took over the family's huge property. Sui Yuemin's position became a bit awkward. In the past, when his elder brother was here, Sui Yuejin just pretended that he didn't see it and let his younger brother get some benefits. But now, the person in power was not Sui Yuejin, but Sui Guangqi, Sui Yuejin's son. Especially when Sui Guangqi just took office, he checked the account several times and found some problems in the resort. Originally, Sui Yuemin thought that Sui Guangqi was his nephew after all. Even if he discovered some problems, Sui Guangqi would definitely let bygones be bygones. He just had to be honest in the future. However, he didn't expect that Sui Guangqi seemed to have changed into a different person after his brother died. Sui Yuemin still remembered the ambiguous words that Sui Guangqi said to him when he came to check the accounts as soon as he took power. At that time, in this office, Sui Guangqi was sitting in his current boss chair with his legs crossed and looking at a pile of data on the table. Sui Yuejin complained about his rudeness. He thought, I'm your second uncle. How can you just sit here like this? Do you still have the concept of an elder in your eyes? However, in the company now, everyone was talking about business. Sui Yuemin couldn't find fault with it. After all, no matter who Sui Guangqi was in reality, Sui Guangqi's current identity was the new chairman of the company. Even if he was his second uncle, he was still his subordinate. Second uncle, this resort has not been profitable for so many years? Sui Guangqi looked up and asked faintly after looking at the data. Ugh, this, Guangqi, you also know. Sui Yuemin just opened his mouth but was interrupted by Sui Guangqi. Second uncle, this is the company. You should call me chairman. Sui Guangqi frowned and thought, I'm already giving you face by calling you second uncle. You actually don't know what's going on and still want to take advantage of it. You're too blind, right? This. Sui Yuemin's expression froze. He was a little embarrassed and a little angry. In the past, when my elder brother was the chairman, I also called him elder brother. My elder brother didn't do such a thing and wouldn't ask me to call him chairman. But my nephew. But no matter what, I'm working under him now. Sui Yuemin gritted his teeth and had to endure, Chairman, you also know that the location of this resort is relatively remote. It's on West Star Mountain between Songjiang and Jiduan City. It's so far away, and people only come here on weekends. Usually, the rooms are basically empty. With so many staff expenses, how can it make money? Really? Sui Guangqi listened to Sui Yuemin's explanation and smiled faintly, but it seems that I didn't see it like this, right? Ah. Sui Yuemin didn't know what Sui Guangqi wanted to say and was a little embarrassed. What day is it today? Sui Guangqi turned his head and asked the beautiful secretary beside him. Chairman Sui, today is Monday, said the secretary coquettishly. Did you hear that? My second uncle, the general manager of the Immortal Resort, today is Monday. Sui Guangqi snorted. People say that business is rare on Monday, but what is the result? Xiao Tao, tell him what we saw when we came here just now. Yes, Chairman Sui. Secretary Xiao Tao smiled charmingly at Sui Guangqi, but then she looked at Sui Yuemin with a straight face. Mr. Sui Yuemin, when the chairman and I came here, we saw that the entrance was full of cars. Although there weren't as many as on weekends, 2/3 of them were still occupied. The chairman went to the front desk to inquire. He originally planned to ask for the most luxurious presidential suite, but the waiter at the front desk told us that the presidential suite had been reserved all year round. The sweat on Sui Yuemin's face immediately fell. He didn't expect his nephew to be so aggressive. Second uncle, this top presidential suite costs more than 3,000 yuan a day, right? Reserved all year round? Even with a 50% discount, it still costs 547,500 yuan. How can the resort not make money? Sui Guangqi looked at Sui Yuemin. Just a presidential suite for a year is this much. What about the rest? Don't tell me that the labor cost here is very expensive. Each waiter has a salary of 10,000 yuan a month. Then I will also work here in the future. That presidential suite, actually, it is not reserved. Sui Yuemin had cold sweat. He had no choice but to explain. Not reserved? Then where did it go? You have a room, but you don't rent it to guests. Is there a problem with your management policy? Sui Guangqi sneered. Actually, I'm staying here by myself. The resort is too far from the city, and I have to drive a few hours to get to work every day. It's too troublesome, so I brought your second aunt over to stay in the resort with me. Sui Yuemin explained, I think no one would want the presidential suite, so I stayed there. Oh? You mean, you stayed in the presidential suite for the sake of the resort? Sui Guangqi was amused and asked. Not really. Sui Yuemin knew that Sui Guangqi was targeting him today. Second uncle, you really enjoy it, huh? You live in the top presidential suite. Does this resort become your home? Sui Guangqi sneered, let's not talk about this first. You tell me, why is there no one in this resort usually? Do you want us to go and see what the occupancy rate of this resort is now? There's no need. Sui Yuemin had cold sweat, but he went all out. Chairman, just say it. What do you want? Sui Yuemin also thought about it. He was Sui Guangqi's second uncle. At most, he would be scolded. What could he do to him? He felt that his nephew just wanted to use him to establish his authority. He was a little angry, but there was no other way. Second uncle, your matter is a small matter. It is our old Sui family's matter, but it is a big matter. You are committing an economic crime. I will hand over your account to the economic investigation team. What do you think will happen? Asked Sui Guangqi. Sui Yuemin didn't expect that Sui Guangqi actually wanted to kill him and send him to prison. He immediately became anxious. Sui Guangqi, I am your second uncle, your biological second uncle. When you were young, I even played with you. You can't do this. Chapter 1672. Yeah, you're my second uncle, my biological second uncle, so I'm just making an assumption. Sui Guangqi smiled, second uncle, it's because you and I are uncle and nephew that I won't pursue your criminal responsibility. However, over the years, how much have you fished out? Spit it all out for me. What have I earned? Guangqi, don't talk nonsense. Sui Yuemin immediately felt heartache when he heard that he was asked to spit out the money. This was even more cruel than sending him to prison. Sui Guangqi pretended to be in a dilemma and sighed, second uncle, well, for the sake of my dead father and your elder brother, how about this? I'll give you a clear path. If you want to go, we'll still be uncle and nephew in the future. I won't pursue your other responsibilities. If you don't agree, then we can only do business according to the rules. Business according to the rules, what do you mean? Sui Yuemin was a little anxious. Guangqi, do I still have a choice between these two paths? Hee, second uncle, you're a smart person. You know which path to choose. Sui Guangqi still had a sneer expression. Well, you win. I choose the first path, said Sui Yuemin. Okay, the first path. Second uncle, you've chosen the right path. Sui Guangqi said leisurely, second uncle, you and I know how much you've taken in the past. After so many years, to put it bluntly, you have the money to open another resort. This, how can there be so much? Sui Yuemin now didn't deny that he had taken the company's money, but he was unwilling to admit that he had taken so much. You don't have to say this. I don't want to pursue the matter of how much it is. Sui Guangqi said, how about this? The market value of this resort is now 120 million. Since you're my second uncle, I'll give you a discount of 100 million. I'll sell this resort to you. You can continue to operate your business in the future. It has nothing to do with the group. This, how can I take out 100 million? Although Sui Yuemin said this, he was analyzing the feasibility of this matter in his heart. Whether or not you can take it out and how you take it out has nothing to do with the company. Sui Guangqi said, it doesn't matter if you borrow money or have your own savings. In short, I have given you this path. It can be considered as being extremely benevolent. Think about it yourself. Do you want to go to jail or continue to be your general manager? Good. I'll buy it. Sui Yuemin gritted his teeth and said. He had no other way to go. Sui Guangqi was already taking care of him by giving him this path. Although Sui Yuemin had only earned so much over the years, about 100 million yuan, this resort would be his once he spat out this 100 million yuan. He didn't have to worry about not being able to earn more. Obviously, Sui Guangqi had already calculated it before. He knew how much he had earned over the years, so he couldn't bargain anymore. Everyone was well aware of this. It seems that second uncle is a smart person. Sui Guangqi nodded. Then, this matter is settled. Congratulations, second uncle. You have become the chairman of the resort. Sui Yuemin laughed twice. He didn't know what to feel in his heart. Now that the resort was his, Sui Yuemin couldn't be like before, thinking about earning money wholeheartedly. Now, he had to think about the management. After giving out the 100 million yuan, Sui Yuemin only had a few 100,000 yuan left. It wasn't enough for his usual social activities and the maintenance of the resort's facilities. Therefore, Sui Yuemin had been trying his best to collect more money to make up for it. As for the previous top-notch presidential suite, Sui Yuemin had already moved out. He lived in an ordinary guest room with his wife. Now that the resort was his, of course, he would use this room to make money. Dang dang dang. There was a knock on the door of the office. Sui Yuemin said casually, please come in. The waiter at the front desk, Xiao Zhang, pushed the door and walked in. President Sui, I'm Xiao Zhang from the front desk. What's the matter? Sui Yuemin glanced at Xiao Zhang. He had some impression of him, so he asked. It's like this. A guest asked me to send another sheet over, so I went to change it for him. However, he said that the previous sheet had been thrown away. Said the waiter, Xiao Zhang. The guest said that he would compensate according to the price, but I have never encountered such a thing before. I don't know how much he should pay. Do you still need to find me for such a small matter? Sui Yuemin frowned. Where did he throw his sheet? Just pick it up and take it back to settle the bill. It's just a sheet, I said so too, but the guest said that the sheet was gone. It was really gone. He wanted to pay, explained the waiter, Xiao Zhang. It's gone. He said so resolutely. Sui Yuemin was slightly stunned. His face suddenly showed interest. Yes, he said so, said Xiao Zhang. Oh, tell me. How many guests were there? Was it a man and a woman? Sui Yuemin had a strange smile on his face. Yeah, when they returned to the villa building and parked outside, I helped guide them. Xiao Zhang nodded and said. Hee hee. Sui Yuemin smiled treacherously. I know what his sheet is for. Sui Yuemin's brain was very good. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get so much money from the resort. When he thought about it, he understood that the sheet must have been used by the man and woman as some kind of souvenir. This kind of thing had happened before, but many people would just cut off a piece of the sheet and leave. They wouldn't buy the whole sheet. What is it for? Xiao Zhang didn't react. Do you remember when someone cut off a piece of the sheet and took it away? Asked Sui Yuemin with a treacherous smile. I understand. Xiao Zhang blushed and understood Sui Yuemin's meaning. What car were they driving? Sui Yuemin had a plan in his mind. BMW X5, said Xiao Zhang. BMW X5? Is he rich? It seems that he is a young master from a rich family. Sui Yuemin was overjoyed when he heard the guest's car. The plan in his mind was more certain. No, I think it was the girl who drove the car, explained Xiao Zhang. Girl? That's even better. Sui Yuemin smiled. I was afraid that this young master wouldn't pay for the girl's sheet. This is great. It seems that this girl is also a little princess from a rich family. President Sui, what do you mean? I don't understand. Xiao Zhang was a little puzzled. Such an important thing, of course, it needs to be paid more. How about this? You go to the guest in the room and say, 100,000 yuan. That sheet is 100,000 yuan. Sui Yuemin was really a little crazy recently. If it were in the past, he wouldn't really care about 100,000 yuan. But now, he had to use this 100,000 yuan to solve the emergency. What? 100,000? Xiao Zhang opened his mouth in surprise. President Sui, how much did you say? 100,000, what's wrong? You just tell them that the sheet is made of Australian wool and is imported. 100,000 yuan is already cheap, said Sui Yuemin casually. This isn't very good, right? Xiao Zhang was a little embarrassed. What if the other party doesn't pay? Don't pay? Okay, you just ask him to find the sheet that was thrown away. That's enough, said Sui Yuemin. President Sui, I think we are a little too much, right? Xiao Zhang didn't want to extort people. Am I the general manager or are you? Sui Yuemin frowned suddenly. Why? You don't want to do it anymore? No. Okay, I'll go and say it. Xiao Zhang had no choice but to nod. If you can't even do such a small thing, what else can you do? Call me at any time if there is anything. Sui Yuemin waved his hand, indicating that Xiao Zhang could go out. Xiao Zhang had no choice but to walk to Yang Ming's room 307 with a bitter face. He was the son of a farmer nearby. He was very simple and had never done anything bad. He would return the things that the guests threw away. This time, the boss asked him to extort others. When he came to the door of room 307, Xiao Zhang hesitated and knocked on the door. Who is it? Asked Yang Ming when he heard the knock on the door after taking a shower and putting on his pajamas. Chapter 1673. Sir, I'm Xiao Zhang, the waiter at the front desk. I just delivered the bedsheet to you, Xiao Zhang said politely. Waiter, please wait a moment. Yang Ming buttoned up his shirt and opened the door of the room. Hello, sir. I asked our boss about the bedsheet before. Xiao Zhang hesitated and began to stammer. What's wrong with you? Yang Ming looked at Xiao Zhang, puzzled. If there's anything you want to say, just say it. Sir, our boss said that the bedsheet is worth 100,000 yuan. It's made of Australian wool. Xiao Zhang said carefully. Australian wool? 100,000? Yang Ming was stunned. Sir, don't be angry. I'm just a waiter. I'm responsible for passing the message. This is the price our boss said. I didn't set it. When the waiter saw Yang Ming's stunned expression, he was afraid that Yang Ming would vent his anger on him, so he quickly said carefully. Your ordinary cotton bedsheet is made of Australian wool? Yang Ming was amused by the waiter's words. To be honest, 100,000 yuan was really nothing for Yang Ming now. However, even if he had money, Yang Ming was not willing to be casually slaughtered like a fat sheep. Yang Ming, what's the matter? Jing Xiaolu walked out of the room and asked. The boss of this resort asked me to pay 100,000 yuan for the bedsheet. Yang Ming shrugged and said to Jing Xiaolu. 100,000? Jing Xiaolu also looked at the waiter in amazement. Is the bedsheet in your resort made of gold? This is not set by me. This is the price set by our boss. I'm just passing the message. Xiao Zhang quickly explained. I found out that there are blackmailers everywhere around this resort. It turns out that this is the ancestor. Jing Xiaolu was naturally talking about the barbecue before. She didn't expect that this resort was all blackmail. The waiter, Xiao Zhang, smiled awkwardly, but he had no right to make the decision. Yang Ming, let's not give up the bedsheet. Just give it back to them. Although Jing Xiaolu felt that it was a pity to give back the bedsheet, she would rather not spend 100,000 yuan to buy a bedsheet because it was not worth it. Jing Xiaolu was this kind of person. Although she was a little vain, she was a little stingy. Now that she owned a company, she was still like this. Her character had not changed. When Xiao Zhang heard Jing Xiaolu's words, he knew that the boss's guess was correct. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. It seems that the boss really has the potential of being a profiteer. Your boss is still Sui Yuemin, right? Yang Ming glanced at the waiter Xiao Zhang and asked, does he want to die? Xiao Zhang was stunned after hearing Yang Ming's words. He didn't expect Yang Ming to call out the boss's name. Does Yang Ming know the boss? Moreover, listening to Yang Ming's tone, he seemed to be arrogant. He directly asked the boss if he wanted to die. Who is this person? If you want money, ask your boss to come and talk to me. Yang Ming glanced at Xiao Zhang and said faintly. Okay, sir. Xiao Zhang quickly excused himself. He intuitively felt that the identity of the guest in this room should not be simple. He had to quickly report to Sui Yuemin. Xiao Zhang did not even make a phone call. He decided to go to Sui Yuemin's office personally. He ran to the door of Sui Yuemin's office and knocked on the door. Please come in. Sui Yuemin said. Why are there so many things tonight? There were not so many things in the past. Fortunately, I didn't go back to sleep. Otherwise, there would be no one in the office. President Sui. Xiao Zhang pushed the door and walked into the office. Oh. Xiao Zhang, how is it? Did they give you money? Sui Yuemin saw that it was Xiao Zhang, so he asked. No. Xiao Zhang shook his head. I asked you to do something and you couldn't even do it. How can you not do such a simple thing? Sui Yuemin frowned suddenly. President Sui, this is what happened. I told the male guest that the bedsheet was made of Australian wool and was worth 100,000 yuan. The hostess said that it was expensive and wanted to return the bedsheet to us. Xiao Zhang said, however, the male guest suddenly said, your boss is still Sui Yuemin, right? Does he want to die? What? You said that the male guest knew that the boss was me? Sui Yuemin was stunned after hearing Xiao Zhang's words. He asked, what is the guest's background? It was a person named Zhang Kaiyuan who booked the room for the class reunion. He should be a member of the class reunion. said Xiao Zhang. Zhang Kaiyuan? I haven't heard of him. Sui Yuemin shook his head. This guy is quite arrogant. He even asked me if I wanted to die. Yes, and then he said that if you want money, you should go and talk to him, little Zhang said carefully. If that's the case, I really want to meet this person. I want to see what kind of powerful person he is. Sui Yuemin said as he stood up and said to Xiao Zhang, you lead the way. I'll go. Okay, President Sui. Xiao Zhang breathed a sigh of relief. With Sui Yuemin leading the way, he felt more at ease. He didn't have to worry about the male and female guests in room 307 making things difficult for him. On the way to the room, Sui Yuemin began to frown. Who knows me and speaks with such arrogance? However, after thinking for a long time, he still couldn't figure out who this person was. When they arrived at the door of room 307, Xiao Zhang knocked on the door. Yang Ming walked over and opened the door. He glanced at Xiao Zhang and his gaze fell on Sui Yuemin who was behind Xiao Zhang. Sui Yuemin, how have you been? Yang Ming glanced at him and said faintly. Sui Yuemin was slightly stunned when he saw Yang Ming. He felt that Yang Ming looked familiar, but he didn't know where he had seen him before. Whose child are you? Sui Yuemin thought for a long time, but he still didn't know who Yang Ming was. So, he subconsciously regarded Yang Ming as a child of an adult he knew. This adult might be a powerful person, so this child was so arrogant. Sui Yuemin, it seems that your memory is very bad. My name is Yang Ming. Yang Ming looked at Sui Yuemin and said. Yang Ming. Yang Ming. I remember now. You are Sui Guangqi's classmate. Sui Yuemin's memory wasn't bad. As soon as Yang Ming introduced himself, Sui Yuemin remembered that when Sui Guangqi had a classmate gathering here, there was a guy who taught Zhang Penbai's underlings a lesson. His name was Yang Ming. Yang Ming nodded, yes, it's me. I was wondering who it was. It turns out that you are Sui Guangqi's classmate. You actually dare to talk to me in such an arrogant tone. After Sui Yuemin knew Yang Ming's identity, he laughed without scruples. Previously, if you said that you were Sui Guangqi's classmate, maybe I would give you face. But now, even if Sui Guangqi came in person, I still wouldn't give him face. Xiao Zhang, tell him. Who owns this resort now? This resort has now been bought by President Sui. Xiao Zhang said helplessly. What nonsense are you talking about? What does this have to do with Sui Guangqi? Yang Ming was somewhat inexplicable after listening to Sui Yuemin's words. Didn't you want to use Sui Guangqi's identity to suppress me? Sui Yuemin thought that Yang Ming was pretending, so he directly exposed him. Me? Use Sui Guangqi to suppress you? Is that idiot so powerful? Yang Ming couldn't help but laugh after listening to Sui Yuemin's words. You think too much, right? Think too much? Sui Yuemin frowned. Since you don't want to use Sui Guangqi to suppress me, then I'm sorry. The bedsheet is 100,000 yuan. Compensate according to the price. Not 1 cent less. Are you sure? Yang Ming looked at Sui Yuemin with a smile. You broke the bedsheet. Compensate according to the price. What is there to be sure about? Sui Yuemin said, I heard that you drove a BMW here. You don't lack this 100,000 yuan, right? Why don't you return the previous bedsheet to us? We have accounts here. Okay. Then I'll make a call and ask someone to send the money. Yang Ming nodded and said. Okay, then I'll wait for you to make this call. Sui Yuemin looked like he was going to defeat Yang Ming today. Chapter 1674. Yang Ming pulled out the phone book and dialed Bao Sanli's number. Brother Yang, what's the matter? Bao Sanli was about to sleep when he heard the phone ring. He was complaining about who was calling so late at night. When he saw that it was Yang Ming, he suddenly became energetic. After Bao Sanli knew that Yang Ming was going to perform a dangerous mission, his attitude toward Yang Ming didn't become cold. Instead, he became more respectful and enthusiastic. Since he had recognized Yang Ming as his boss, he would be loyal to him for the rest of his life. "Baozi, who is in charge of our company in Jiduan City?" asked Yang Ming. After Jiduan City's Guo Jinbiao was eliminated by Yang Ming, the territory was taken over by Bao Sanli. Although Yang Ming later asked Bao Sanli to end the previous gray industries, his control over the underground forces was still there even though he changed his career. He just didn't do those illegal businesses anymore. He invested in nightclubs, hotels, KTV, and other industries. Jiduan City is Zhang Penbai's kid. He was originally from Jiduan City. "I sent him over again," said Bao Sanli. "Zhang Penbai? It can't be, right? It's him." Yang Ming immediately laughed when he heard it. "Okay, let him send me 100,000 yuan to Immortal Resort, Villa Building, room 307. Okay, I will tell him to do it." Bao Sanli didn't ask what Yang Ming was going to do with the money and agreed directly. After following Yang Ming for a long time, he also knew Yang Ming's habits. If Yang Ming wanted to say something, he would naturally tell him. If he didn't want to say it, it was useless to ask. After Sui Yuemin heard the name Zhang Penbai, his face immediately became gloomy. He was naturally not unfamiliar with Zhang Penbai. This person used to work under him, but because of his involvement in Sui Guangqi's matter, it led to a conflict with Yang Ming. After that, he was fired by Sui Yuemin. It was said that he sought refuge with a very powerful big brother in Songjiang City, and then there was no news of him. Coincidentally, the boss of Jiduan City, Guo Jinbiao, happened to be killed by the boss of Songjiang City, so Zhang Penbai was sent to guard the territory. This was great. Zhang Penbai had a lot of opinions about Sui Yuemin. After taking over the territory of Jiduan City, he came to trouble Sui Yuemin every 2 or 3 days. Sui Yuemin naturally dared not to say anything. How could he dare to offend the boss of Jiduan City? Sui Yuemin regretted it. Why didn't I treat Zhang Penbai better in the beginning? But who would have thought that Zhang Penbai's life would be full of ups and downs, and now, he was on the rise. Later, Sui Yuemin had no choice but to ask his big brother, Sui Yuejin, to intercede and accompany Zhang Penbai for a meal. He also agreed to pay a certain amount of benefits to Zhang Penbai every month. Only then did Zhang Penbai let Sui Yuemin go because Sui Yuejin was from the Sui family of Mount Jing. He didn't treat Sui Yuemin as a member of the Sui family at all. At this time, Sui Yuemin was stunned when he suddenly heard that Yang Ming called a person named Baozi and mentioned Zhang Penbai. He even asked him to send 100,000 yuan. It can't be, right? Yang Ming knows Zhang Penbai. He asked Zhang Penbai to send money? Isn't that asking for my life? Is it so easy to get Zhang Penbai's money? I send money to Zhang Penbai every month, but he doesn't want it. Yet, I still have to smile and give it to him. This time, Zhang Penbai took the initiative to send money. If I accept this money, can this resort still continue to operate in the future? Thinking of this, Sui Yuemin suddenly broke into a cold sweat. But then he thought about it. That's not right. He was confused because of his concern. At that time, it was Yang Ming who beat Zhang Penbai and Zhang Penbai's men until they pissed their pants. Because of this, he was fired. Zhang Penbai and Yang Ming should be sworn enemies. It was impossible for the two people to have any relationship. Yes. It is definitely not the same person. There are too many people with the same name. How can it be so coincidental? This Zhang Penbai is that Zhang Penbai? Moreover, what kind of identity does Zhang Penbai have? He now has 4 or 5 nightclubs and KTV in Jiduan City. Is it possible for him to be an errand boy in the middle of the night to send 100,000 yuan? Previously, Yang Ming said, "Who is the person in charge of our company in Jiduan City?" Since this is the case, I am afraid that this Zhang Penbai is just a liaison in the office. The Zhang Penbai I know is the big boss. After Sui Yuemin's analysis, he finally calmed down. Are you done with the call? When will you send the money? It will be here in a while. Yang Ming didn't expect Sui Yuemin to be so calm after hearing the two people, Baozi and Zhang Penbai, mentioned on the phone. He was a little surprised. Could it be that Sui Yuemin is doing so well that he doesn't even put Zhang Penbai in his eyes? Or is this Zhang Penbai doing so poorly in Jiduan City that no one respects him? If it was really because Zhang Penbai was doing so poorly, Ong Ming was willing to give Sui Yuemin 100,000 yuan. In a while? Okay, then I will wait here and see how long this in a while is, said Sui Yuemin. Do as you wish. This is your hotel. I won't entertain you, Yang Ming said as he was about to close the door. What are you doing? You want us to stand outside? Sui Yuemin just wanted to raise his leg to enter the room, but he was greeted by Yang Ming's door. I paid to rent this room. You don't have the right to come in now, right? Asked Yang Ming. This. Sui Yuemin thought about it. Yang Ming's words were indeed reasonable. Although he was a little angry in his heart, he thought that he would get 100,000 yuan in a while, so he endured it. Zhang Penbai was in the sauna at the moment. A little brother ran over anxiously with his phone. Penbai Gu, the phone, your phone. What phone call? It's so late at night. Can't you see that I'm in the sauna? Zhang Penbai frowned. It's Brother Bao's phone call, said the underling quickly. Ah. Give it to me. As soon as he heard that it was Bao Sanli, Zhang Penbai sat up, grabbed the phone from the underling, and picked it up. Hello, Brother Bao, I'm Penbai. Is there anything you want to tell me? Brother Yang is in room 307 of the Immortal Resort. You send 100,000 yuan over now. Bao Sanli didn't ask Zhang Penbai if there was anything wrong and ordered directly. Brother Yang? Oh, okay, I'll be there right away. Zhang Penbai was slightly stunned when he heard Brother Yang at first, but then he knew who Bao Sanli was talking about. It was Yang Ming. Previously, Zhang Penbai didn't know the identity of Yang Ming. It was only after he was sent to Jiduan City that he learned about Yang Ming's identity from Bao Sanli. He felt lucky and scared at the same time. I didn't expect Yang Ming to be my ultimate boss. Since then, Zhang Penbai had been looking for an opportunity to help Yang Ming do something, but in Jiduan City, how could there be such an opportunity? Now that Bao Sanli sent him this task, Zhang Penbai was overjoyed. He rushed out of the sauna room directly, put on his clothes, and said to the underling who gave him the phone, go and prepare 100,000 yuan, then follow me to the Immortal Resort. The boss needs it urgently. Boss? Is it Brother Bao? Asked the underling subconsciously. Not Brother Bao, but Brother Bao's boss. He's also my big boss. Zhang Penbai glared at the underling. Why are you asking so much? Hurry up. Let me tell you, if you delay the business, I will teach you a lesson. Ah. Yes. The underling didn't dare to ask more and quickly went to prepare the money. Although he had some doubts in his heart, who is Brother Bao's boss? Why don't I know? But when he thought of Zhang Penbai's face, he didn't dare to ask casually. Soon, the underling ran over with a bag of money. Brother Penbai, I'm ready. Let's go when you're ready. Zhang Penbai nodded and quickly went out of the door of the bathing center. He got into the front passenger seat of a Mercedes-Benz at the door. The underling got into the main driver's seat, started the car, and drove in the direction of the Immortal Resort. Hurry up, drive faster. Zhang Penbai kept urging the underling, complaining that the speed was too slow. Brother Penbai, do you think Brother Bao's boss is short of 100,000 yuan? Why haven't I heard of Brother Bao having a boss before? Could he be a liar? Asked the underling with some doubts. Liar my ass. Kid, if you talk nonsense again, I will kick you out of the car. Zhang Penbai suddenly became angry. What do you know? Do you think you can meet a person of that level? You haven't seen Brother Bao a few times, let alone the boss behind Brother Bao. Yes, Brother Penbai, I'm wrong. The underling quickly admitted his mistake. He thought about it carefully. It made sense. I'm just a small character. How can I get in touch with people at that level? Chapter 1675. Zhang Penbai glared at his underling. He thought, how can this person be so unobservant? I didn't notice it before. Now I'm thinking about whether to replace him in the future. How can he know the boss's boss so casually? In the beginning, if it weren't for a coincidence, I wouldn't have been able to get in touch with Brother Yang. The underling didn't dare to say anything. He drove the car carefully and sped up all the way to the villa of the Immortal Resort. Yang Ming closed the door of the room and ignored Sui Yuemin and the waiter outside the door. He took Jing Xiaolu's hand and sat on the bed. He turned on the switch of the TV remote control. Yang Ming, why did you give him the money? This isn't like your usual style. Jing Xiaolu looked at Yang Ming with some doubts. Yang Ming was ruthless to Xiang De and strong in the barbecue restaurant. At this moment, Yang Ming seemed a little cowardly. He asked someone to send the money over without saying a few words. He sold the bedsheet to us for 100,000 yuan. He also said that we don't have to buy it. We just have to return the bedsheet. We can't say that he forced us to buy it, right? Yang Ming spread his hands and explained to Jing Xiaolu, we want to buy it ourselves. We can't let others raise the price, right? But they are extorting us. Jing Xiaolu was quite dissatisfied with the price of 100,000 yuan. It was obvious that she didn't want to buy the bedsheet. Yang Ming, why don't we return the bedsheet to him? Return? How can that be? Isn't this very memorable? Yang Ming smiled. That, actually, it's nothing. As long as you and I know and remember it in our hearts, that's fine. Jing Xiaolu said, 100,000 yuan. It's better to buy me a few mink coats. I don't even have one yet. Yang Ming was a little speechless when he heard Jing Xiaolu's words. If you don't count the shares, your monthly salary is already tens of thousands of yuan, right? I still can't bear to. Jing Xiaolu said, I'm so petty. I can't change it. Then why didn't you feel bad when I took you to buy clothes? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Does it feel different? Jing Xiaolu said, anyway, I think it's a little silly to spend 100,000 yuan to buy a broken bedsheet. It's not worth it. Let's see. Even if the money is delivered, Sui Yuemin may not dare to accept it. Yang Ming wondered why he didn't realize before that Jing Xiaolu was actually so cute. Previously, Yang Ming thought that Jing Xiaolu was a girl who worshipped money. But now, it seemed that Jing Xiaolu's worshipping of money was just a facade. She was a very stingy girl on the inside. However, when she thought of her previous family and her sick grandmother, these were not strange. Although Jing Xiaolu used to regard money as her life, the money she earned was basically used to supplement her grandmother's medical expenses. It could be said that Jing Xiaolu's greed for money was completely forced by her family conditions. Now that she had money, her previous stinginess had not changed, which led to the current situation. The complex family environment, as well as Jing Xiaolu's early bearing of the burden of the family and her early experience in society, created this girl's complex personality. She was vain and stingy. It seemed very contradictory, but after thinking it through, it didn't feel anything. Don't dare to accept it? What do you mean? Jing Xiaolu was a little stunned after listening to Yang Ming's explanation. Looking at Sui Yuemin's appearance just now, he won't stop until he gets the money today. How can he not accept it? It's hard to say. We'll know in a while. Yang Ming smiled. As they were talking, Yang Ming's phone rang. Yang Ming took out the phone and glanced at it. It was an unfamiliar phone number. Maybe Zhang Penbai had arrived. Yang Ming picked up the phone. Hello. Brother Yang, I'm Zhang Penbai. I've arrived at the bottom of the Immortal Resort Villa. Zhang Penbai knew that Yang Ming didn't like people who were wishy-washy, so he said what he wanted to and was very brief. Oh, it's you. Come up. I'm in room 307, said Yang Ming. Okay, I'll go up immediately. Zhang Penbai saw that Yang Ming didn't seem to have any dissatisfaction with his arrival time, so he was relieved in his heart. He had already rushed over at the fastest speed, but because the mountain road of West Star Mountain was not very good at night, he was delayed for a while. He was afraid that Yang Ming would be impatient, so he took the initiative to call and test Yang Ming's attitude. When he saw that there was nothing wrong, he was relieved. Zhang Penbai carried the bag of money and went upstairs with the underling. He took the elevator to the 3rd floor. As soon as he came out, he saw Sui Yuemin and a waiter standing not far away. Zhang Penbai was stunned. What is Sui Yuemin doing here in the middle of the night? However, Zhang Penbai had important things to do today. How could he be willing to waste time on these trivial matters? So, he ignored him and went to room 307. Originally, Sui Yuemin didn't notice Zhang Penbai because he was standing sideways. Zhang Penbai didn't care about this, but when Zhang Penbai walked to Sui Yuemin, he suddenly realized that Sui Yuemin was standing at the door of room 307. As the saying goes, a good dog doesn't block the way. Zhang Penbai was angry immediately, but because Yang Ming was in the room, he couldn't be too arrogant and leave a bad impression on Yang Ming. He just patted Sui Yuemin's back and said coldly, "Move aside." Sui Yuemin was annoyed that Yang Ming didn't give him face and locked him outside the door. He was already angry at Sui Guangqi. He didn't know what Yang Ming was relying on, but in Sui Yuemin's opinion, it seemed that he was so arrogant because he was Sui Guangqi's classmate. At this moment, someone actually patted his shoulder and asked him to move aside. This was his territory. This was the Immortal Resort. Who was so bold to ask him, the general manager, to move aside? Move aside? What's wrong with moving aside? Does this road belong to you? So, Sui Yuemin was angry at that time. In fact, Sui Yuemin's question was very artistic. If this person said that this road belonged to him, he could take out his business card and tell the other party that he was the owner of this resort. Zhang Penbai was a little stunned by Sui Yuemin's answer. He had something to do today, so he didn't want to bother with Sui Yuemin. He didn't care that Sui Yuemin didn't see him and greet him. This Sui Yuemin actually dared to act in front of him. He actually dared to ask who this road belongs to. Did he eat the wrong medicine? However, before Zhang Penbai could get angry, the underling who came with Zhang Penbai was unwilling. He and Zhang Penbai had come to trouble Sui Yuemin many times before, so he was very unhappy with Sui Yuemin's insensitivity. He grabbed Sui Yuemin's collar. "Are you fucking blind? Brother Bai asked you to move aside because he thinks highly of you. You actually asked who this road belongs to?" Ah. Sui Yuemin was pulled by Zhang Penbai's underling. He was about to get angry, but he was shocked when he heard Brother Bai's name. He turned his head and saw that it wasn't Zhang Penbai. There was also Zhang Penbai's underling, the person who used to come here to trouble him. Sui Yuemin was immediately a little dumbfounded. Why did Zhang Penbai bring his underling here in the middle of the night? Wait. Zhang Penbai. Sui Yuemin suddenly thought of something. When Yang Ming called before, he also mentioned a person named Zhang Penbai to deliver the money. Could it be that Zhang Penbai is really this Zhang Penbai? At this moment, even if Sui Yuemin was stupid, he probably understood that this Zhang Penbai was indeed that Zhang Penbai. The Zhang Penbai who once did things here, the Zhang Penbai that he dared not offend at this moment. Brother Bai, why are you here? Sui Yuemin asked subconsciously while trembling. Although he had roughly guessed the purpose of Sui Yuemin's visit, he still maintained a certain wishful thinking. He prayed that Zhang Penbai coming here was just a coincidence, and not the Zhang Penbai that Yang Ming called. I'm here to deliver the money to my big boss. I don't have time to deal with you this time, but you have to remember that this matter won't end here. Zhang Penbai glared at Sui Yuemin and said to his underling, let him go first. Don't let Brother Yang hear us arguing at the door. It won't be good if Brother Yang hears it. Chapter 1676. Yes. The underling listened to Zhang Penbai's order and quickly let go of his hand. However, he still warned, we have a big matter to do this time. I will let you go first. Get lost, kid. This. Sui Yuemin really didn't dare to leave at this moment. Now, he could basically confirm the purpose of Zhang Penbai's visit. Zhang Penbai had already said that he was here to deliver money to some big boss. The money was delivered to the door of room 307, and he was also called Zhang Penbai. Then, it was self-evident who this big boss was. Why am I so unlucky? Sui Yuemin knew that even if he ran away now, he couldn't hide forever. If Zhang Penbai knew that he was here to extort Yang Ming, would he let him go? Thinking of this, Sui Yuemin might as well stay and wait for the storm to come. It was better than running away. Now, if he admitted his mistake in front of Yang Ming, it might be better. If he only listened to Yang Ming's side of the story, Zhang Penbai might not think much of it. Then, his resort would not be peaceful. Sui Yuemin regretted it. Why did I have such a bad mouth? Why did I have to ask the service staff to extort this 100,000 yuan? Do I only lack this 100,000 yuan? When a person is unlucky, even drinking cold water would cause them to choke. These few days, misfortune never came alone. What's wrong? You still don't want to get lost? Zhang Penbai saw Sui Yuemin still standing at the door and hesitating. It seemed that he didn't want to leave, so he was a little angry. Is this person in a hurry to die? No, no. I also came to this room to look for someone. Sui Yuemin quickly explained. He didn't want Zhang Penbai to misunderstand anything. Oh. You also came to look for Brother Yang? Zhang Penbai was stunned. Yes, yes. Sui Yuemin quickly nodded and responded. Ah. Zhang Penbai was shocked. He didn't expect Sui Yuemin to actually come to look for Yang Ming. Could it be that he was also invited by Yang Ming and knew Yang Ming? Thinking of this, Zhang Penbai's heart suddenly became nervous. He couldn't figure out the relationship between Sui Yuemin and Yang Ming. If the two of them had a good relationship, wouldn't he be finished if Yang Ming knew that his previous attitude was so bad? Brother Sui, my underling Xiao Qiangzi was not sensible and offended you. Zhang Penbai said as he patted the back of his underling's head. Say. But. Since. You. Zhang Penbai immediately became anxious. He once again slapped the back of his little brother's head and scolded, Do you not have a brain? Yes, yes, President Sui, the underling said respectfully. What the hell is going on? However, Sui Yuemin was not stupid. He could get so much money under Sui Yuejin's nose for so many years. He naturally had his ways. He pondered for a while and understood why Zhang Penbai was like this. The reason was actually very simple. He just said that he wanted to find the person in the room. Zhang Penbai obviously mistakenly thought that he had some kind of relationship with Yang Ming in the room. Zhang Penbai wasn't sure if he was Yang Ming's guest, so he had a 180-degree change in attitude. However, although Zhang Penbai misunderstood, Sui Yuemin didn't dare to accept it. He couldn't explain it, so he had to say with a bitter face, You're too polite. Just call me Old Sui. How can that be? Zhang Penbai said with a smile, Then let's go in together. Zhang Penbai was afraid that Yang Ming would be anxious. It wouldn't be good to waste time with Sui Yuemin at the door, so he quickly proposed to enter the room. Okay. Sui Yuemin nodded awkwardly. He was still very uncomfortable with Zhang Penbai being so polite, but there was no other way. He couldn't explain it at this moment. He could only take one step at a time. Zhang Penbai knocked on the door, and Yang Ming's voice came from the room, "Please come in." Zhang Penbai carefully opened the door and walked in with a smile, "Brother Yang, I'm here. Brother Bao asked me to give you 100,000 yuan, oh, Penbai, you're here." Yang Ming glanced at the door and nodded, but he saw Sui Yuemin who followed in. He suddenly frowned and said, "Did I let you in?" "Ah." Zhang Penbai was stunned by Yang Ming's sudden words, "Brother Yang. Didn't you let me in?" "I'm not talking about you, but the one behind you." Yang Ming was also stunned after hearing Zhang Penbai's words. He knew that Zhang Penbai had misunderstood, so he explained. "Ah. Little Chang, I'm talking about you. Why did you follow in? Get out of here." Zhang Penbai turned and yelled at the underling. The underling was also shocked. He thought that he shouldn't have come in, so he quickly retreated outside. Yang Ming saw this scene and was a little dumbfounded. At this time, only Sui Yuemin knew who Yang Ming was referring to. "Brother Bai, he was talking about me, not Brother Chang," said Zhang Penbai awkwardly. "Ah." Zhang Penbai listened to Sui Yuemin's explanation and was somewhat inexplicable. "He was talking about you?" Sui Yuemin couldn't explain it, so he had to say to Yang Ming, "Brother Yang, I was just joking before. Look, why did you call Brother Bai here? How is that sheet worth 100,000 yuan? I was just joking. Oh, I lost your things, so I naturally have to compensate you according to the price." Yang Ming said faintly, "It's Australian wool. It's worth this price. It's not a big deal. I was really joking." Sui Yuemin was about to cry, "Brother Yang, don't tease me. How can I take your money, Penbai? Did you bring the money?" Yang Ming no longer cared about Sui Yuemin. Instead, he turned to Zhang Penbai and said, "Give the money to Sui Yuemin." "I brought it." "Oh, okay." Zhang Penbai also heard Yang Ming's words. He knew that Zhang Penbai extorted 100,000 yuan from Yang Ming. However, he also knew that it was not his turn to speak now. In front of Yang Ming, he was just a small character. It was still Yang Ming who made the decision. So, he just had to do whatever Yang Ming said. As for whether to deal with Sui Yuemin, it was all up to Yang Ming. It's not necessary. It's really not necessary." Sui Yuemin was anxious when he saw Yang Ming's businesslike appearance. He didn't dare to take this money. "President Sui, please count it. This is 100,000 yuan." Zhang Penbai opened the bag in his hand and handed it to Sui Yuemin. Although Zhang Penbai didn't say anything, his aggressive eyes also explained the problem. It made Sui Yuemin shudder. "I don't want it. I really don't want it." Sui Yuemin didn't dare to take the money, especially since it was sent by Zhang Penbai. "Why? You don't want to give face to Brother Yang? Brother Yang asked you to take it. You don't want it? Or do you think it's too little?" Zhang Penbai asked coldly. I will take it." Sui Yuemin was shocked. He trembled as he took the bag from Sui Yuemin's hand. "I've paid you back. You can get lost now." Yang Ming looked at Sui Yuemin and said, "Brother Yang, please forgive me. I'm really joking. Please let me go." Sui Yuemin was a fool if he still couldn't see Yang Ming's extraordinary identity at this moment. Zhang Penbai's respectful attitude in front of Yang Ming had explained everything. Yang Ming didn't ask Zhang Penbai to put up a front, but he really did ask him to be an errand boy to send money. This kind of difference could be seen from the subtle details. Yang Ming was really superior, and Zhang Penbai was really subservient. "President Sui, Brother Yang asked you to go out. Didn't you hear it?" Zhang Penbai frowned and stopped Sui Yuemin from continuing to speak. He directly made an inviting gesture. Sui Yuemin was really anxious this time. He had no choice but to kneel down. "Brother Yang, Brother Bai, please don't play with me. I. Chapter 1677. Yang Ming didn't expect Sui Yuemin to do this. Yang Ming really didn't want to argue with Sui Yuemin today. He had encountered too many things today. First, it was Zhang Kaiyuan and Yu Xiangde. Then, it was the barbecue restaurant. Now, Sui Yuemin was extorting him. So, when it came to Sui Yuemin, Yang Ming really didn't want to argue with him. That was why he called Bao Sanli and asked Bao Sanli to deliver the money to him. If Yang Ming wanted to argue, he would have torn down the Immortal Resort long ago. He wouldn't have calmly called Bao Sanli. Of course, whether Sui Yuemin dared to take the money was not something that Yang Ming considered. Since he had the guts to ask for money from him, he must have the guts to accept it. This is my room. What do you mean by crying in front of my room? Yang Ming frowned as he looked at Sui Yuemin kneeling on the ground with snot and tears. He was saying some unclear words. Brother Yang, I was wrong. Please don't ask me to take the money. Sui Yuemin begged, I'm not stupid. I know that I can't take the money. Once I take it, I'm done for. I can't run this resort anymore. Did I say such a thing? Asked Yang Ming. This. Do you still need to say it? Sui Yuemin smiled bitterly. Brother Yang, once you leave, I guess Brother Bai won't spare me. Oh, you get up first. Yang Ming suddenly had a flash of inspiration in his mind. He had some ideas. Yes. Sui Yuemin didn't dare to disobey Yang Ming's words. He quickly stood up, but he didn't dare to stand up straight. He just bowed and stood there respectfully. Brother Yang, can you spare me? Let's not talk about this for the time being. Let me ask you. Who owns this resort now? Asked Yang Ming. This resort is now mine. Sui Yuemin didn't dare to hide it. Although he didn't know what Yang Ming meant by asking this, Sui Yuemin still answered Yang Ming's question truthfully. After all, Zhang Penbai knew these things clearly. It doesn't belong to the Immortal Group in Mount Jing? Asked Yang Ming. It doesn't belong. I bought it myself, said Sui Yuemin respectfully. Is Sui Guangqi the one in power over there? Asked Yang Ming. But that kid is. He didn't care that I was his second uncle. He actually made me spend the money and buy the resort. Speaking of Sui Guangqi, Sui Yuemin vented all his anger on him. Sui Yuemin believed that the fuse of today's incident was because of his nephew, Sui Guangqi. If it weren't for him, how could he be interested in this 100,000 yuan? Oh, it turned out to be like this. I say, do you still want to keep this resort open? You actually came up with such a trick to blackmail the guests. Yang Ming nodded faintly, indicating that he understood. Brother Yang. You see, you can't blame me for all this. I was just forced into a corner. Although Sui Yuemin hadn't figured out Yang Ming's true identity for a while, it seemed that it was definitely not simple now. This could be seen from Zhang Penbai's attitude towards Yang Ming. Therefore, he definitely wouldn't be at a disadvantage if he worked for such a person. Then you can leave first. Yang Ming waved his hand, indicating that Sui Yuemin could leave. Okay, then Brother Yang, I'll leave first. Sui Yuemin knew that he was finally fine and broke out in a cold sweat. When he turned around, he saw that Zhang Penbai's smile had become amiable again. He restored the smile he had when he was at the door. Brother Bai, I'm leaving. Brother Sui, you're too polite. Zhang Penbai smiled faintly and said politely. He didn't know what Yang Ming wanted Sui Yuemin to do now, but no matter what, judging from Yang Ming's attitude, he was going to let Sui Yuemin go this time. Zhang Penbai naturally wouldn't say anything. Besides, Sui Yuemin might become Yang Ming's subordinate in the future. It was hard to say. Sui Yuemin didn't feel much satisfaction with Zhang Penbai's completely different attitude. Instead, he sighed secretly. Life's fate is decided by a single thought in many situations. If I didn't kneel down and beg for mercy, and refuse to leave with snot and tears, Yang Ming might not have said those words to me. My fate could be imagined. But now, it had miraculously changed. The opportunities in life were really wonderful. The reason why Yang Ming suddenly decided to let Sui Yuemin go was that Yang Ming thought of Sui Guangqi, the guy who liked Zhou Jiejie a lot. Strictly speaking, Yang Ming and Sui Guangqi's hatred had been established. It was just that one of them was in Mount Jing, and the other was in Songjiang. There were not many opportunities for them to cross paths. Sui Guangqi was just a rich second generation before, so he didn't have much ability. But now it was different. Sui Yuejin was dead, and Sui Guangqi took over his father's position as the chairman of the Immortal Group. Of course, this was nothing. Who was the chairman of the Immortal Group actually had nothing to do with Yang Ming. What made Yang Ming change his mind was that he suddenly thought of what Sui Yuemin said to him before. He said that this resort was already his, and it had nothing to do with Sui Guangqi. It was useless for him to rely on his identity as Sui Guangqi's classmate. From this sentence, it could be seen that there seemed to be a strong hatred between Sui Yuemin and Sui Guangqi. So when Yang Ming thought of this, he began to simply ask about the ownership of this resort. He wanted to beat around the bush and see Sui Guangqi's character. However, he didn't expect Sui Yuemin to start talking about Sui Guangqi's evil deeds without waiting for him to ask. Although he didn't say it in detail, from his current words, this Sui Guangqi was a strong person who would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. This caused Yang Ming to be vigilant. Chapter 1678. Wouldn't leaving this kind of opponent here be looking for trouble for himself? Especially when his trip to Yunnan was approaching, it was still uncertain whether he could come back safely. If he left, what would Sui Guangqi do if he came to pester Zhou Jiejie? Yang Ming's character used to be kind, but now he had the idea of going all the way. Well, since this person is a threat to me, I will take the initiative before I leave. Of course, although Yang Ming could mess with Sui Guangqi without any scruples, and Xia Bingbao wouldn't say anything even if he knew about it, Yang Ming wasn't an arrogant and domineering person. Doing so would be criticized by others. The best way was to find a fuse. When Yang Ming saw Sui Yuemin, he knew that he had found the fuse. Sui Yuemin was also a member of the Sui family. If Sui Guangqi was squeezed out of the Immortal Group and he monopolized the power, no one would say anything. Yang Ming didn't have any special thoughts about the Immortal Group's industry. His money was enough for his woman. It was useless to have more money. This kind of decentralized industry was difficult to control and operate. What he had to do was to help Sui Yuemin when he and Sui Guangqi were fighting for power. As long as Sui Guangqi had no capital in his hands, this enemy was no longer a threat. As for whether Sui Yuemin would betray him after taking control of the Immortal Group, Yang Ming wasn't worried. First, Yang Ming didn't have the idea of letting Sui Yuemin be his subordinate. It was useless for him to have him as a subordinate. Second, it could be seen from Sui Yuemin's performance today that this person was as timid as a mouse. He wouldn't dare to offend people who were more powerful than him. He would only kneel and beg for mercy, unlike Sui Guangqi who dared to take risks. Therefore, Sui Yuemin would only be grateful to Yang Ming after taking power. Even if Yang Ming was gone, he couldn't afford to provoke Zhang Penbai and Bao Sanli. Penbai, you can go out now. Thank you for your hard work tonight. Yang Ming waited for Sui Yuemin to go out and said to Zhang Penbai. What's the trouble? Otherwise, there's nothing to do at night. Zhang Penbai scratched his head and smiled, then, Brother Yang, I'll leave first. I won't disturb your rest. Yang Ming nodded, indicating that Zhang Penbai could leave. After Zhang Penbai left, Jing Xiaolu asked with some doubts, Yang Ming, why did you change your mind in the end and give the money to Sui Yuemin? I know his nephew. His name is Sui Guangqi. He is Zhou Jiejie's pursuer. Yang Ming didn't hide it from Jing Xiaolu. Since he had already told Jing Xiaolu that he would leave in a while, there was no need to hide these things from her. Yang Ming started from the time he accompanied Zhou Jiejia to attend a class reunion at the Immortal Resort. He talked about Sui Guanqi, introduced Sui Guanqi's character and his worries after he left. Finally, he talked about what he planned to let Sui Yuemin do. It turns out to be like this. You are still the one with foresight. Jing Xiaolu naturally nodded after listening. After listening to what you said, this person is quite a person who knows how to endure and hold grudges. If we don't solve it, it will really be troublesome. Let me think about it again and see if there are any problems that haven't been solved. Before I leave, I have to solve all your problems. Yang Ming rubbed his temples and smiled bitterly. Otherwise, I won't feel at ease when I leave. Oh, yes. Jing Xiaolu suddenly exclaimed, there is still one more person who needs to be solved together. Who? Yang Ming was stunned and asked. Lu Jifei. If you leave, what should I do if this guy finds trouble with me again? Jing Xiaolu said, you can't treat him differently. Now, he is also one of your people. Sweat. Yang Ming broke into a sweat and said, I have already planned to solve this person. Even if you weren't involved, I wouldn't let him be so arrogant. Yang Ming didn't have a good impression of this Lu Jifei. Not only did he frame his company, but he also created a bank cash truck robbery case. He kept causing trouble for himself. Yang Ming naturally wouldn't let him stay. Yang Ming was going to let Xia Bingbao collect evidence and submit it directly to Xia Shui or the Jiangyan police. Lu Jifei would be sentenced to 10 to 20 years if he was arrested. I see. I thought you forgot. Jing Xiaolu was delighted when she heard Yang Ming's words. Even without this relationship tonight, I can't care about your matters. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. However, now it seems that giving you the shares is a bit unnecessary. Why is it unnecessary? Why? You don't want to give it to me? Jing Xiaolu was a little unhappy after hearing it and asked with some grievance. Originally, I gave you the shares to let you start a new life and run the company yourself. Yang Ming explained, but now, it's better to give you a lot of money and let you wait for me at home with peace of mind. Then I still want the company. I will wait for you to come back in the company. I don't want to be a rich lady at home every day. I will be laughed at. Jing Xiaolu shook her head. Also, I am the chairman now. How cool is it? So many people grovel to me every day. I don't want to lose this feeling. After Yang Ming listened to Jing Xiaolu's words, he smiled and didn't say anything more. He just said, do as you wish. After the barbecue shop owner and Zhang Depeo's crazy smashing, the barbecue shop became a mess. Looking at the barbecue shop full of scrap metal, the shop owner finally woke up. What did I do? Was he possessed by something? I actually smashed the shop into such a mess with my own hands? Yes, it's that kid from before. If he didn't force me, would I do this? Thinking of Yang Ming, the shop owner's eyes were full of hatred. He didn't expect that when Yang Ming told him that he didn't need to smash anymore, he didn't stop because he was too excited and continued to smash crazily. Zhang Depeo, stop. The shop owner looked up and saw that Zhang Depeo was still looking for a target with the sledgehammer. He suddenly became angry. Do you think that you haven't smashed enough and made me bankrupt? Ah. Zhang Depeo was scolded by the shop owner and quickly stopped. He felt a little wronged. Didn't you just ask me to continue smashing? Why did you change your mind at this time? Isn't this a joke? However, the shop owner was the boss and he was an employee. How could he not listen to the boss's words? Zhang Depeo threw the sledgehammer in his hand and quickly ran to the front of the shop owner. He carefully said, "Boss, what are we going to do now?" The shop owner looked at the mess in the shop. The more he looked, the angrier he became. An outsider actually dared to behave atrociously in the territory of a local just because he knew some martial arts. He was simply tired of living. It was fine if this thought didn't arise. Once it arose, it couldn't be suppressed. The more the shop owner thought about it, the more he couldn't bear it. He was a local tyrant. Now that he was bullied like this, how could he hold his head up high in the future? Thinking of this, the shop owner finally couldn't help but say, "DePeo, come here." "Boss, I'm here. Do you have any orders?" Jean DePeo was already standing next to the shop owner and asked quickly. "You and our village's loafer Yao Sanpao are buddies, right?" asked the shop owner. "Of course, we are sworn brothers. I'm DePeo and he's Sanpao." "He's my sworn brother," replied Jean DePeo. "Oh, then how much do you want to ask him to go out and teach a person a lesson?" The shop owner wasn't short of money now, but he couldn't take it anymore. "Teach who a lesson?" asked Jean DePeo. "Is it that brat just now?" "Yes, it's him. It doesn't matter how much it costs. I must let that brat know who is the strongest here," said the shop owner fiercely. Chapter 1679. That kid is a little tricky. Jean DePeo was a little scared when he heard Yang Ming's name. Thinking of Yang Ming's powerful kung fu and his injured brothers, Jean DePeo was a little scared. "I already said that money doesn't matter. We must teach that kid a lesson," said the shop owner. "Boss, this isn't a problem of money. The problem is that the kid is too difficult to deal with." Jean DePeo said with some difficulty, "If I ask Sanpao, Sanpao definitely won't ask for money, but the problem is who to ask, so it's like this." The shop owner was a little disappointed when he heard Jean DePeo's analysis, but it was no wonder. Jean DePeo was telling the truth. The shop owner had seen how powerful Yang Ming was with his own eyes. He also knew that although Yao Sanpao was a village tyrant near West Star Mountain, he wasn't a martial arts master. "Why don't I call Sanpao and ask him first?" Seeing the shop owner's disappointment, Jean DePeo thought about it and suggested. The shop owner treated him well, so when the shop owner was in trouble, Jean DePeo had to do his best. "Okay, then you make a call and see." The shop owner's face suddenly showed a look of expectation. "I'll call now." Jean DePeo could basically predict the result of this call, which was that it wouldn't have any results. Jean DePeo was very clear about the strength of Yao Sanpao and his subordinates. They were only slightly stronger than him. How could they be Yang Ming's opponent? The call was made to Yao Sanpao. Yao Sanpao quickly picked up the phone. "Big brother? Where are you?" Yao Sanpao and Jean DePeo were sworn brothers. In the past, there was another one called Yu Second Generation, but later on, he went to write web novels, so only the two of them were left. "Third brother, where are you? I have something to talk to you about," said Jean DePeo. "What's the matter? Why don't you come over and I'll introduce you to my fourth brother," said Yao Sanpao. "Fourth brother? What fourth brother? Where did this fourth brother come from?" Jean DePeo was stunned and asked in confusion. There were only 3 sworn brothers. Where did this fourth brother come from? Was Yao Sanpao drunk too much and muddle-headed? "Fourth brother is a sworn brother I met in the south in my early years. He is very powerful. You will know when you come." Yao Sanpao said, "My brother, isn't he your fourth brother?" "Aya, Sanbao, I don't have time to drink with you now. I have something important to tell you." Jean DePeo finally figured out the origin of the fourth brother that Yao Sanpao had mentioned. It turned out that he was Yao Sanpao's sworn brother. It wasn't an exaggeration to call him his sworn brother. If it was any other time, Jean DePeo would really be willing to get to know this brother of his. After all, they were all brothers. Especially someone like him who liked to make friends, but he really wasn't in the mood today. What happened? Why are you acting like this? Yao Sanpao asked curiously. My boss's shop was challenged by a martial arts expert. Now that the shop has been destroyed, our boss wants to take revenge. Jean DePeo said briefly. Oh, that's easy. Who did it? I will beat him up for you. Yao Sanpao said indifferently. I say, Sanpao, your skills are about the same as mine. I am talking about a martial arts expert. He is very powerful. He can fight against 4 or 5 people. Do you have anyone who can fight? Zhang Depeo smiled bitterly. He thought that Yao Sanpao must have drunk too much. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said such big words. What martial arts expert? Why should I be afraid of him? He is a martial arts expert. We still have the king of fighters here. Yao Sanpao said, this matter, let your 4th brother settle it for you. King of fighters? 4th brother? What do you mean? Zhang Depeo was even more confused when he heard Yao Sanpao's words. When I met your 4th brother, he was a gold medal fighter in the underground boxing arena in the south. Let me tell you, even the world boxing champion wasn't his opponent. Yao Sanpao drank too much and naturally started to boast. Underground boxing arena? So powerful? Zhang Depeo was dumbfounded by Yao Sanpao's words. How can there be such a coincidence? I was worried about how to explain it to my boss, and now I have a gold medal fighter in the underground boxing arena. God is too kind to me, right? That's right. Yao Sanpao continued to boast, my 4th brother is awesome. He can kill an elephant with one punch. Don't talk about a martial arts expert. Even if a world champion came, it wouldn't be a problem for him. That's great. This matter will be handed over to 4th brother. After we deal with that kid, I will treat you and 4th brother to a big meal. Zhang Depeo believed Yao Sanpao's words. This kind of thing couldn't be joked about. If this 4th brother really didn't have any skills, Yao Sanpao wouldn't have praised him so much. No problem. What drinking wine? We are your brothers. Naturally, we will help you. Your matter is our matter. Yao Sanpao said, as for you treating us to a drink, you are my big brother. It is natural for you to find us to drink. There is no need to say so much. Okay, I know you are loyal. Zhang Depeo said, then, when are you and 4th brother coming over? Now, right now. We will be there immediately. You wait for us. Yao Sanpao said. That's great. We will wait for you at the barbecue shop. Zhang Depeo responded. In fact, the shop owner asked Zhang Depeo to call Yao Sanpao just to give it a try. In fact, he knew Yao Sanpao's strength very well. In terms of skills and martial arts, he was on par with Zhang Depeo. He wasn't Yang Ming's opponent at all. It was just that he didn't give up and wanted to confirm it again. That was why he urged Zhang Depeo to make this call. However, he didn't expect that this call actually had an unexpected gain. When Zhang Depeo and Yao Sanpao were talking on the phone, the shop owner heard it clearly. He didn't expect an underground boxing champion to come. This was really a surprise. Depeo, your 3rd brother is really a capable person. He actually has an underground boxing champion as a sworn brother. The shop owner said excitedly, this way, we don't have to be afraid of that kid. That's right. My 3rd brother doesn't have many things, but he has a lot of friends. This call seems to be the right call. Zhang Depeo was also very happy because this time, he wouldn't let the boss down. Zhang Depeo's family used to be very poor. The boss was a distant uncle of his who had always helped his family. Later, his parents died. Zhang Depeo mixed in the underworld and also got a position in this barbecue shop. The boss took care of him very much, so Zhang Depeo would always remember this kindness. Not long after, an old ordinary Santana car with transparent tape on the broken glass stopped at the entrance of the barbecue shop. After the car stopped, 2 people jumped out of the car. One of them was Yao Sanpao. This person had a big waist. At first glance, he was a ruthless character. However, the so-called 4th brother was ordinary. His body was very ordinary. There was no one else beside Yao Sanpao. If there was an underground boxing champion, it could only be the person beside Yao Sanpao. This made Zhang Depeo and the shop owner slightly disappointed. Is this person really the boxing champion? Or is Yao Sanpao just bragging? Sanpao. This is the fourth brother you were talking about, right? Although Zhang Depeo had doubts in his heart, he didn't say anything. There was a saying that one couldn't judge a book by its cover. Otherwise, he and the boss wouldn't have found trouble with Yang Ming. Looking at his appearance, he was ordinary. How could they tell that he was a martial arts master? Depeo, Uncle Bo, this is my fourth brother, Feng Xibiao. Let me introduce him to you. Yao Sanpao introduced the person beside him to Zhang Depeo and the shop owner. Hello. Zhang Depeo reached out his hand and shook Feng Xibiao's hand. Zhang Depeo wanted to test this Feng Xibiao, so he began to exert force and clamped Feng Xibiao's hand tightly. Feng Xibiao naturally saw Zhang Depeo's intention to test him. Feng Xibiao was very clear about his appearance and figure, so it was normal for Zhang Depeo to not believe in his strength. Chapter 1680. Feng Xibiao smiled slightly. Then, he began to exert strength in his hand. He held Zhang Depeo's hand and squeezed it hard. The cold sweat on Zhang Depeo's forehead instantly flowed down. Even Yao Sanpao wasn't as strong as his hand's strength. Zhang Depeo didn't expect himself to be so easily squeezed by Feng Xibiao to the point that he couldn't fight back. Admiration rose in his heart. This person has real strength. Big brother, nice to meet you. I heard from third brother that you are also a loyal person. Feng Xibiao didn't care about Zhang Depeo's probing. After exerting strength in his hand, he let go and didn't press on. Sorry for offending you before. Fourth brother, you are a person with real skills. Zhang Depeo said with admiration. Hee, I'm just making a living. Feng Xibiao smiled. Right, I heard third brother say that he wants me to deal with some martial arts master. What happened? The shop owner was also a careful person. He saw the competition between Zhang Depeo and Feng Xibiao before, so he knew that Feng Xibiao was indeed a capable person. It's like this. The shop owner told him about how Yang Ming came to the shop to cause trouble. Of course, he didn't mention anything about his previous blackmail. Oh. After Feng Xibiao listened to the shop owner's introduction, he looked at the underlings who were injured by Yang Ming lying on the ground. Then, he said disapprovingly, he's just a little faster. It's nothing. His strength isn't enough. That's a little faster. Whether it was the shop owner, Zhang Depeo, or Yao Sanpao, they all showed a frightened expression. Of course. When you are boxing, if you are slow, you will lose the initiative. Naturally, you can only be beaten. Therefore, speed is very important for a boxer. Feng Xibiao explained, there is also strength. This person's strength is obviously lacking. Although his speed increased, he sacrificed his strength. He is still immature. The shop owner and the others were stunned again. Such a powerful person in their eyes was still immature in Feng Xibiao's eyes? If it were me, these guys wouldn't just have a dislocated leg bone. Feng Xibiao laughed and said, if I were to make a move, they would already have a comminuted fracture. The shop owner and the others still opened their mouths wide in shock. Feng Xibiao was still smiling. Then, he threw a heavy punch at one of the steel pillars that supported the food stall. Suddenly, with a bang, a huge fist mark appeared on the steel pillar. The shop owner and the others were still surprised, but they believed Feng Xibiao's words. It would be strange if such a fist didn't shatter the bones of the human body. Fourth brother, don't force yourself. You just recovered from your injury. Why are you hitting the steel pillar for no reason? Yao Sanpao saw Feng Xibiao's behavior and frowned. It's okay. Although he said so, Feng Xibiao's face still changed. Thinking of his injury half a year ago, it was the first time in his life that he had suffered such a serious injury. He had to lie in the hospital bed for more than half a year to recover, but he was getting farther and farther away from his peak condition. Feng Xibiao found it hard to imagine that there was such a powerful person in this world. Was he too short-sighted before, or did he meet someone too powerful? Anyway, Feng Xibiao was not willing to think about the past. After his injury was healed, Feng Xibiao took refuge with one of his former sworn brothers, Yao Sanpao. He knew that in his current situation, he could no longer return to the underground boxing arena. Although he had recovered from his injury, he could not return to his peak strength. In this way, he could not survive in the underground boxing arena. Sooner or later, he would be beaten to death. Therefore, Feng Xibiao had no choice but to give up the life of a boxer. Fortunately, Yao Sanpao was not bad. After Feng Xibiao arrived here, he also urgently needed an opportunity to show his strength. Today's incident was a good opportunity. In fact, after Feng Xibiao was injured, he became a lot more cautious. If the opponent was weaker than him, he would take action. If the opponent was stronger than him, he would not be stubborn. After carefully examining the injuries of several people, Feng Xibiao concluded that Yang Ming's strength was not very good. He did not know that Yang Ming was completely merciful at that time. Otherwise, these guys would not have been injured and would have gone to the Western Paradise to learn the scriptures. Hearing Feng Xibiao say that there was no problem, Yao Sanpao nodded. Since Feng Xibiao was confident, then there was no need to say more. He turned to the shop owner and asked, "Uncle Bo, where is that martial arts master? He must be staying here at the Immortal Resort. I know his license plate number. I will take you to find him," said the shop owner. "Okay, I will call the brothers now. Fourth brother and I will go with you to find him," said Yao Sanpao. "There is no need for so many people. I can handle it alone." When Feng Xibiao heard that Yao Sanpao was looking for someone, he waved his hand indifferently and refused. Actually, I want to let the brothers see fourth brother's heroism," said Yao Sanpao. That's fine. Let them see what is called a duel between masters. What is the perfect combination of speed and strength? Feng Xibiao heard Yao Sanpao's words and nodded. He said mysteriously, "Yeah, how can we miss such a fight between masters? This is a good opportunity to learn." Zhang Depeo also nodded in agreement. Therefore, Yao Sanpao began to call his followers and asked them to come to the barbecue shop together. When these followers heard that they were going to watch the boxing champion beat up others and that the boxing champion was going to show the perfect combination of speed and strength, they were all interested. This was a rare opportunity. This underground boxing competition was impossible to appear in this small village. Therefore, when everyone received Yao Sanpao's call, they all rushed over. When everyone arrived, the group went in the direction of the Immortal Resort. On the way, Feng Xibiao was not stingy. He began to explain boxing techniques to Zhang Depeo, Yao Sanpao, and the followers, and how to display the perfect combination of speed and strength. After listening to Feng Xibiao's explanation, these people realized that they were frogs at the bottom of a well. There were so many things to say about fighting. As a result, these people were looking forward to seeing the perfect combination of speed and strength that Feng Xibiao described. "Fourth brother, don't get rid of that brat too quickly later," said a follower. "Yeah, fourth brother, you have to let us see clearly. If you kill that brat with one punch, we won't be able to see anything," said another follower. "We want to learn this perfect combination of speed and strength. You can't hold back later," said another person. "Don't worry. I will try to keep that brat for a while longer and let him use a few more moves. You guys see how I break it and defeat him," Feng Xibiao said proudly. "That's great." Everyone nodded in agreement. The group entered the Immortal Resort and came to the front of the villa. The shop owner had sharp eyes and saw the BMW X5 off-road car parked in front of the villa. He pointed at the car and said to Jean DePayo, look at the car number. Is that the car? Jean DePayo looked at the direction the shop owner pointed at and saw the BMW. He looked at the car number carefully and said, that's right. It's that car. Boss, it's him. Okay, if that's the case, smash his car first, said the shop owner angrily. When he thought about the shop, he wanted to smash the car. No problem. Leave it to me. Jean DePayo didn't have enough fun smashing the shop just now. Now that there was such a good job, of course, he wouldn't reject it. He rolled up his arms and went to work. As soon as Sui Yuemin left the villa building, he saw a group of people surrounding a BMW and walking over. He remembered that this car belonged to Yang Ming. This was what the attendant told him before. Sui Yuemin couldn't let anything happen to this car here. He quickly walked over and asked, hey, what are you guys doing? What do you want? You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.